dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist pump, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snipped out, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up at Listos, causing chaos and play up Calypso. I pause in kitchens and caused addictions. I pause prescriptions and caused inflictions. Lil Bixby playing in stores and bricks and on the dark web. You gotta pause every doors, cause encryptions. Tesla engines, pause the pistons. I seen every floor I leave sore and listing. For that action, they sponsored the Bronson. They was hooked on that shit like Johnson and Johnson. That freeway, Ricky Ross, straight out of Compton, straight out of Bompton. Red on blue, violence in the land. The projection of the will, the perfection of the kill, the reflection of the pills. I'm a frontline soldier, I'm no doja. These crystals not for focus in crypto. Diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist pump, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snipped out, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up at Listos, causing chaos and play up Calypso. Hickory dickory down, hit a lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot. Heavy in the pedal, we slip off a knot. Heavy in the ghetto, they crib walk a lot. Crib walk the crypto, lift off the stocks. Drips off the crystal and pots. Disco rods in the blocks on my chain from the crystal shop. In the light air, lift off the rock. Toe from the right chain on my block. White paint on my socks. White paint on my socks. Hickory dickory dock. Hit the lick, put the sticky in the box. When the blicky get hot, lick off a shot, we lick off a shot. Players in crypto, diamonds is dancing like they up in disco. You niggas in fist pump, you stay up and dip low. You niggas stay up and get low. Heard you way up in Frisco, and you say what the heck so. Every player gets snipped out, acting gay up in Cisco. Might take the day off and play up at Listos, causing chaos and play up Calypso.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode. Sacrilegious Sundays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. Let me know how we sound on the audio. Yes, pay us in crypto. You know what I'm talking about? Pay us, please. Let me know how we sounding so we can move forward, my friends. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody in the building and whatnot on this good Sunday. Shout out to all of y'all and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? On this good Sunday. Man, oh man. Woo! How y'all doing, first of all? How's everybody doing? I'm taking a temperature check. I know there's a lot going on, so we just got to check up on one another. How's everybody doing? Mentally, spiritually, emotionally. There's a lot going on right now in the world. People may be feeling fatigued in a way, like there's an exhaustion going on because there's a lot going on. So I just want to let y'all know it's a moon tonight. Take advantage of that moon. Take advantage of that window. Take advantage of that opportunity to clear, feel me, to get everything focused, because we're moving into a new cycle. Things have to occur so things can change. Okay. Welcome to part 2, or rather episode 2 of Boys R Us. All right. The Iceman has cometh and winter is here. Shout out to Blue Pill. I caught him earlier. Minister Moreland, aka Pope Pablo, doing his motherfucking thing on Mineral Ministries. If you didn't see that episode, you could check that out when we get up out of here. You know what I mean? It's on the channel and whatnot. Please do yourself a favor and go get the gospel, the brother preaching. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's do the roll call so we could go ahead and get on with this thing tonight. I'm not going to do too much, pre-show type things. I'm going to get right into it. This is literally us picking off where we left off yesterday. Now, God damn it, I woke up and the information was just flowing and flooding my time. I mean, Lord have mercy. There's a lot of shit going on. We're going to be very responsible and catalog all of these things. Now, what we're doing is we're documenting a very important situation that ultimately could be a distraction, but at the end of the day, it's a good distraction. It depends on how you see this thing. Do not allow anyone to spin this narrative when you know what the fuck might be happening is something a little bit different than what you may be used to. Okay. This one right here, this is the reckoning. You talk about P. Diddy reckoning. Well, this is the Iceman reckoning. You know what I'm talking about? This is the Caucasoid reckoning. This is the quote unquote Iceman inheritance reckoning. This is the shit that Dr. Francis Cress Wilson was warning y'all about in the ISIS papers. Oh, this is a full disclosure. Charleston in the building. You know what I'm talking about? Norwood in the building. Frederick, Maryland in the building. We got Thailand in the building. Detroit is tapping in. Lansing is in the building. Charlotte is on this biatch. Chicago is up in this thing. San Jose, Ireland. 7 Mile, Detroit. We got Detroit. What up, though? Boston. We got Twin Cities and what not. T-Dot. We got Bishopville. Is that where Bishop is at? Tough London. Houston, Los Angeles, Tacoma, Nairobi, Fort Worth, Houston, Grand Rapids. I hope y'all taking care of Pope Pablo when he's in the Mineral Ministries. I hope y'all hitting that motherfucking collection plate because the boy is preaching. I would rather see him in a real church doing that thing. But if y'all take care of the Pope, then he deserves to be where he's at. But shit that he be dropping, he should be in the mega church. I'm about to call Jamal Bryan and see if I can get a slot for Minister Moreland and whatnot. He could warm it up. He needs to be in a mega church. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, definitely take care of the Pope because the Pope is out here preaching and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't see nobody with the cloth do it like that yet. Facts. Seattle is in the building. Shout out to Seattle. Shout out to Seattle. Shout out to everybody that's pulling up. You know what I mean? Salute to all of y'all. I hope y'all stay blessed. I hope y'all stay focused. I hope y'all stay dangerous and whatnot. But yeah, it's a lot of things going on. So we're going to get right into it. This is a continuation. Let's just set it off with this. Now, I said what I said, and I have so much to say about the trip that I was on. I have not unpacked what happened in Colombia. I've given y'all a portion, or morsel. I have not completely unpacked that 10-day experience because I'm still literally unpacking it. What I was able to do, though, is I was able to bring, forth some of the sentiments that I observed. Some of the sentiments that I've shared dealt with the fact that everybody in society, has been lied to a degree. There's a very small portion of society that ultimately knows the truth about us, the truth about themselves, the truth about what has been hidden. That more than likely, that truth that we're looking for, or that truth that hasn't really made itself known, is some of the truths that you may find if you enter into a secret society, or if you belong to something that's very clandestine. This is where they share, and this is where they show, and this is where they teach the truth. Other than that, for the profane, you're going to get lied to. You're going to get thrown all type of falsehoods. It's almost the equivalent of launching an app or building a website that's filled with bugs and malware and whatnot. It won't function correctly because the code is not right. So everybody around the world is off code. They don't know who we are. They look at us through the lens of slavery. They have this fake ass disposition towards us, like they have to feel sorry for us, like we're some fucking slaves. And I'm here to let you know we're more so like prisoners of war, vassals of the state, and those of us who have been converted into Moriscos and little Moors. That's what I see. I don't see slaves. I don't see Slavs and whatnot. That is not who we are. So when you go to South America, the motherfuckers is looking at you like the only reason that you're here is because you got dropped off on a ship. And we know that's not the motherfucking case. When you're all up and down the 13 colonies in America, when you're in Texas, when you're in Cali, and all of these places, and these people try to little bro you and look at you with sympathy and shit like your ass was a chattel slave, you have to correct them and be like, nigga, you're the slaves. The fuck you talking about? Like, nigga, you're more of a slave than I was. How about that? How about your ancestors came over here as fucking migrants? How about you niggas? How about they flushed the toilets of Europe and you may be a piece of that shit that came out of Europe and whatnot? Why don't you talk about that? Why don't you talk about the simple fact that they sent serial killers over here and they had pale faces and whatnot? Why don't you talk about the fact that you motherfuckers got rounded up in the prisoners and the dungeons and whatnot, and they sent you niggas over here like they sent Scarface to America from Cuba? Why? When's that conversation gonna happen? Your people were degenerates, and you know y'all came over here and rat infested cruise liners and whatnot and ships to Ellis Island and whatnot. And y'all were degenerates in your country. Why don't you talk about that? And your people came over here. You know the movie, and this is just correcting the miscorrection. Y'all came over here and you were already in cities of gold and whatnot. Y'all came over here, y'all lying about the state fairs and whatnot. There were coliseums, there were monuments, there were all type of quote unquote, you know, mega structures and megalithic structures over here. And y'all niggas don't have no claim to that. Y'all founded shit. It was already here. Who built that? Who built that? Was it the fucking was it these Asians that crossed the Barren Straits? No. Yeah, gangs in New York is just scratching the surface. So there's nothing worse than to be seen through the eyes of a broken lens. They don't know what they're looking at. So I feel that our job is to correct the globe about who we are from an image perspective, because when I go and I travel, I see how that has been used to our detriment. The ignorance about who we are, they're using that against us, and they're using that to keep us impoverished and whatnot. It's all mental. It's all mental. It's all mental. Even when I visited these Caribbean islands, you know, they sent a lot of their children to America and to the UK and other places, and their children is running around in the Bronx, in Connecticut, and other places, and they're running around the South, but they got designer on, and you know what I mean? They sold a lot of cocaine over their life. They jumping out of foreigns, but when you go to their homeland, you have to ask yourself, why aren't you applying this type of quote unquote wealth? Why is that not being transferred to your homeland? You know, why are you not gentrifying your village? Why are you not beautifying your abuela's house, your abuelo's house? Why are they living in these houses and whatnot? Why does it look like when you drive through all of these places, they stop renovating shit in the 50s? But y'all in America hummer stunting for what? You're not you in America talking down on niggas that you calling slaves, but nigga, when I go into South America, the whole country is enslaved by the church to this day. Hold on. You don't want to have that conversation.
To this day.
You don't want to have
this
that.
Day.
They don't have our daughters on the corners selling them out in windows and whatnot. Our children are not being sold in windows. Our children are not being sold on doorsteps. Our children are not being sold like bakery items and whatnot for old white men like Jeffrey Epstein and all of that. So what are we talking about? How dare you niggas thumb your nose up at us and try to stunt on us like we don't got it going on, and our shit is not together over here. We built this shit, bro. The fuck you mean? Like, we built South America, we built Latin America, we built up a whole bunch of shit, and they destroyed it. So this is what I'm talking about. This shit right here. This nigga got beat last night and went and apologized for slavery. Like, what are you talking about, fam? Who are you calling a slave? Check this shit out.
Gotta put respect to it. To all my brothers and sisters, I love you guys. Always salute to the power that it be above. I thank you guys. I never wanted anything to harm you guys at all. So for that, my condolences to all you guys and to the slavery and everything that's ever happened mentally.
Mentally, right? Mentally. Because the slavery is mental. The slavery is mental. They put our people in a box with the Roots movie and all of this dumbass shit. That is not us. We have to shake that shit off. That is not us. It depends on where you go in the Caribbean. Where I'm from, it looks like a little United States. You didn't say where you're from, though. Where you from? Let me know. Where you from? Because I'm not trying to talk down on anybody's homeland. Not trying to stun on. Please don't take it as a critique or anything. Your land is beautiful. Your homeland is beautiful. I just got questions. Same way that y'all had the opportunity to question us about what we're doing in our hoods and whatnot. I want to ask what the fuck happened in your situation, because I know that it's mental. There's nothing stopping you from going back and beautifying your countries. And you cannot put that on the shoulders of the people that was left behind in the homeland. I got to put it on the motherfuckers that they shipped over here. They're sending barrels. Y'all sending barrels home of secondhand clothing. Granted, cool. You know what I mean? But it got to be some more activities taking place. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself being over here running up a bag and y'all are not taking care of your people at home. Facts. And got the nerve, don't fix your mouth to say nothing about slavery around melanated people in America, because literally the Vatican and the Holy See and the Pope that you niggas call Papa has their boot up every single one of your people's ass, and y'all did not get anything for that trade or fam. You niggas got robbed blindly, and they have your women on sale in windows. How could that be a Vatican-run country if they're putting your women on sale? That's everywhere where they're at. The sex tourism is intricately tied to the Vatican. So when you see shit like this, Jeffrey Epstein, this shit breaking out, Weinstein, Epstein, all of these people, what they call the Israeli corridor, because they'll travel up and down all of the countries that tolerate the fuckery that they're on. You know what I mean? And they exploit. They exploit organs, they exploit bodies, they exploit souls, they exploit spirits, they exploit the resources. They be exploiting everything. So the illusion is that something is wrong with niggas. Y'all keep throwing shit on us when y'all motherfuckers know who the real culprit is, but y'all don't got no smoke for them. And they're running all up and down your islands and your countries and your homelands and whatnot, pillaging shit. You don't have no smoke, but people want to act fake mad about this Epstein. You know, the mayonnaise meltdown on my timeline is ridiculous. These niggas are going crazy and whatnot, and it's all fake. It's not real. I don't believe anyone. It's all reactionary. This shit is gonna go right back to motherfucking normal in about a week and whatnot. Niggas is gonna pay their taxes. They're going to work tomorrow. They're gonna do the Trump dance and everything. This shit is nothing. It's a normalization of depravity and whatnot. It is the illest psyop that they've ever run on society. They're gonna normalize depravities, kinks, and quote unquote proclivities of some sadistic, devilish people. But guess what? Guess what saved us? Guess what saved us on this round? Because you know we got other shit that we got to deal with, but this Epstein shit, we got to save because Epstein don't fuck with us. Check this out.
Hold on. Did y'all hear that? Epstein said, he ain't want no black women on Epstein Island. He said, I don't want no NIGGERs, right? And in his other emails, he made it clear that he thinks black people as a whole, black people are ignorant and idiotic. And he doesn't want to be around them. We good. Boy, rejection is protection, ain't it? Shit. Because whenever those Epstein photos come out, you know what they're looking for, right? You know what people really looking for? They're looking for black folks. They don't care. They know this thing is riddled with white folks, right? Whenever the Epstein photos come out, they only looking for one thing and one thing only. Black folks. But my thing is this, right? A worldwide child ex-trafficker into all kind of nefarious things, all kind of craziness, demon worship, all these little weird things, right? All these weird projects he got going on, right? And they still got black folks on their mind somehow.
Right. With all of this shit going on that's being exposed, niggas got a hard on to see our people. That's all they care about. Pusha T and Jay-Z, that's all they want to talk about. But they're letting all of that other shit fly. So we're going to put it on record. We're going to document it. Something that we might be coming back years from now to research and whatnot. But we have to put it out there because the dump of 3 million motherfucking emails or 3 million pieces of data and whatnot, it's got to serve its purpose. I'm a researcher. I'm a journalist. I tie things together. I'm out here cracking cases, my G. And this one is a case that needs to be cracked. So here we go.
For you about the Epstein files, I need to give you a trigger warning. This video is about human sacrifice. I shit you not. I wish I was lying, but all my sources here are verified. I'm going to give you the file number first. It's EFTA 015893335, and I'm also going to put that number up here so you can research that file for yourself, and I'm going to include it here in a few seconds. But in this,
I got to be responsible once again. Just as an adult, if you get easily triggered and you're on this platform or on this show tonight and you have mental or some type of imbalances, yeah, you might want to switch this thing off because you will be triggered. You are going to be triggered. I could tell you from the gate, your ass is going to get, it's going to have, I don't want that for you. Some people might not be able to deal with this level of information because they might not have healed. They might not have got past certain trauma that they've been put through. And I don't judge anyone. I'm not putting anything on anybody's shoulders, but I'm just giving you the disclaimer. You know? So here we go.
this file number, it shows that Epstein was talking to someone about a bank account, and the name of the bank account was Baal, B-A-A-L. Why is this so important? Well, because Baal, B-A-A-L, is mentioned in Christianity and in Islam and was a real deity in ancient Canaanite religion. And guess what people did to worship Baal? Sacrifice, including human sacrifice, including child sacrifice.
This nigga bank account was Baal. I know some of you niggas that think y'all on the dark side, y'all bank account might be what's that nigga name? Beelzebub, right? What's the other one? What's the one like that? You know, you fake dark side niggas. I'm sure that y'all gonna follow the suit and name your bank account some evil shit. But yeah, this is what he was on. This is what he was on.
Okay? That is how people practiced worship to the deity Baal. Now, why is this so important? Because that is a fucking bank account named after an ancient deity that is known for child sacrifices. And then in another document, you have from Epstein to someone asking if they're okay and how he loved the torture video. I got a lot of questions, and I'm about to crash out, so excuse my language. One, what the
Yeah, he did. He crashed out. Let's watch the crash out. The mayonnaise meltdown. The mayonnaise meltdown is real. Let's go.
fuck are you gonna do about it? What are we gonna do about it? Are you still paying your taxes? 3, we need to know immediately why that was redacted. Who the fuck was Epstein sending that email to? Additionally, why the fuck did Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, the head of the Justice Department and the FBI, lie to our faces and say, oh, there's no more files, Epstein just did this all on his own? That is treasonous, and they need to be purple walked.
They do. Now, if anything could be done, right? This is the time to see the resolve of you homebred Americans, you patriots out there. You do not tread all of that. Tread lightly, niggas. Your Second Amendment motherfuckers. All of y'all, you Joe Rogan ass niggas. If you can't do anything, at least you could get Kash Patel the fuck up out of here, because Kash Patel, he got on this. He came on TV. He got in front of the American people, and he said that there's nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. He acted alone. We went through 6 million documents, and boy, oh boy, they're all about him. This is what this is the head of the FBI. If he is the equivalent of J. Edgar Hoover today, correct? He's a director. He's a director. This nigga don't even have straight eyes. You know what I'm talking about? He got the weird eyes and what? Yeah, Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. They got up there. These are government officials. They got up there and said they committed acts of perjury. So if there's nothing that comes out of this, if people could do anything, if there's no arrests that are made, if nobody gets packed up, at least for my patriots, if you want some patriot shit to do, well, there's a citizen's arrest right there. There's a perjury charge waiting to get unsealed and whatnot. Because I tell you, like I said, there's people laid up. They put 2 million plus of our people in the mountains and whatnot for lesser crimes. There are melanated bodies being stored in warehouses like batteries and whatnot for way lesser offenses. So if that's how it is, if it's good for the goose, then it gotta be good for the gander. Okay? I want to see something happen. Let's burn a candle or some shit. Is it a fucking moon and whatnot? Get busy, man, because we need to see some results. Because if we don't see nothing, bro, where am I going to move to? Where can I? Because I can't be.
Pam Bondi needs to be put in fucking cuffs on the ground.
I cannot be here. My husk, my body, my spirit cannot be on this land. I can't be a part of this. It's impossible. But it's literally nowhere that you can go, because this shit is a worldwide global thing.
And dragged across the street so we can see that she, in public, is humiliated because she is defending people who are participating in human sacrifice over giving justice to the victims. And Kash Patel lied through his teeth under oath, saying that this wasn't happening. Sorry, that was very heated. And actually, you know what? No, I'm not sorry. We need more people with guts and passion to stand up against this. I'm Hunter Howell. I'll get back to every comment, but you got to repost and share with everyone you know.
The mayonnaise meltdown is real, fellas. Stay away from them at the water cooler tomorrow. Let the mayonnaise crash out. This don't got nothing to do with you. The same thing with the ICE protest. You sit back with your moringa popcorn and you take notes and whatnot. This don't got nothing to do with you. Let them pack each other up. Because unbeknownst to what they call so-called black people, there's no such thing as white people. You read the emails and you realize those people who you call white people don't even exist. The people with pale complexions will eat the other people of pale complexions. It don't matter if they're the same complexion. They lie to you. There's no such thing as white people. White is a status. And these Jews are calling people Goyim all up and down. There's thousands of references of the Goyim. And who the fuck is the Goyim? It ain't no niggas. He said he don't want no niggas on the island. So he was cooking pale folks, okay? For all of you Irish and Italians and whatnot, you know that they made you the white status because of the work that you put on black people. You saw that in Gangs in New York. There's no such thing as white. So for everybody to be like, oh, white people are protected and white, shut the fuck up, because that's not what it is. They eat they'll cook their own. They cook them pale faces, man. Like they flip them like pancakes. So people have been under the illusion that these people somehow are safe because of their complexion, the complexion for protection, and that was never the case. So if you're not a Nazi, nigga, your ass is on a plate. So that's what we're realizing and whatnot. So we got to let the degenerate underclass of pale faces who were recently niggas and whatnot, but you sold your soul to go against the copper complexion inhabitants of this biatch. And now look at you. Now look at you. You're getting eaten by your own creations and whatnot. The shit is poetic justice, if you ask me. So all of these pale faces have to come to the realization that they laid up and they allied themselves with some vampiristic, demonic groups of people and whatnot who have a penchant for human flesh and whatnot. So either they revolt or they become part of that. They acquiesce and they get absorbed. There's no other way around it. Stay the fuck away from this conflict, ladies and gentlemen. This has nothing to do with you, because those people, those pale faces, kind of knew about this shit the whole time. You know what I mean? All of that fake outrage, they whisper in their households. They know about what be going on with their priests and their preachers and behind the Vatican. They know about all of that. They know about the Reconquista. They know that they was eating mummies. They know that they came over here in the 1800s and they started serial killing our people. They know that the 90% of the Indians that got wiped out and whatnot was done at the hand of these fucking psychopaths and whatnot. But these people have inherited what was stolen from us. So they had this quote unquote silent this silent agreement where they're supposed to be on code, but nigga, your code is done. It's code red.
Hey, remember that time when a bunch of
let them pick the pieces
remember that
up.
time they found a bunch of tunnels and dirty mattresses under Chabad synagogue in New York City and Brooklyn? No, you don't? That's okay, because the media covered it up almost instantly. But yeah, let's run it down. Let's run down the most fucked up story you've heard today. So back last year, it was discovered that a bunch of Jewish students had illegally excavated a tunnel, which had stretched, I think, 600 meters beneath their synagogue. The exact place is the Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters in Brooklyn, New York, okay?
And I've mentioned it on occasion. There's two things that we have to understand and fully be able to conceptualize. Hollywood, I don't know if the book is here. The book is called Empire of Their Own. So Hollywood was in Vegas, right? The gambling thing, you saw the movie Casino. So the movie Casino showed you Sam Rothstein, and it also showed you my nigga Nicky Tarantino and all of them, right? The real mobsters, the real gangsters, the ones that are on top of the Italian was Meyer Lansky and Bugsy Siegel and what you know as the Jewish Mafia. The Lubavitch, this faction out of Brooklyn who are on Crown Heights, the same people that we went to war with when they killed little Gavin in the 90s. They were riots on Eastern Parkway because they ran over a young black child and murdered him and whatnot. And then there was a riot because one of them got stabbed up and bodied and whatnot. These are considered to be the top of the food chain when it comes to the mafia. Although these are a religious sect and whatnot, this sect, the people who went over to Is It Real in the 1940s and put that work in on the British, and then put that work in on the they were known as terrorists. They were blowing shit up. They were blowing the King David Hotel up. They were doing all type of bombings and whatnot. They come out of that camp in Brooklyn. These people are not to be effed with. These are the landlords, and these are the quote unquote slumlords of New York City. They own the real estate on some monopoly shit, but they do a high level of mysticism through the Kabbalah and other things, right? So these are the people where they found a tunnel. Let's continue. We had to put context to it.
And dirty mattresses under Shabbat synagogue in New York City and Brooklyn? No, you don't. That's okay, because the media covered it.
Right. The distinction, thank you, Bree. The distinction is there's the Jewish mob and the mafia is Italian. There's no such thing as a mob, an Italian mob. There's the Italian mafia, and on top of them is the Jewish mob. So we have to make that distinction. They don't make that distinction in Hollywood because guess who runs Hollywood? That's why I said to go watch the documentary Empire of Their Own. So they are the ones telling the story. They are shaping the narrative. So they made the Italian mafia, they put them in the front. But when The Godfather and other movies came out, there was mass protest because the Italians was like, do not paint us with that MFing brush. We know who the original gangsters, we know who the people who are running things are. They had the cross-dresser and the closeted hobo, J. Edgar Hoover. They were blackmailing him the same way that Epstein was blackmailing politicians, athletes, and actors, and these fucking rappers. Okay, Bugsy Siegel and all of them. Facts.
It up almost instantly. But yeah, let's run it down. Let's run down the most fucked up story you've heard today. So back last year, it was discovered that a bunch of Jewish students had illegally excavated a tunnel which had stretched, I think, 600 meters beneath their synagogue. The exact place is the Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters in Brooklyn, New York, okay? So when it was discovered that these, ambitious students had began tunneling illegally into New York City, they pulled out a mattress, a child-sized mattress covered in what looks like blood. They pulled out a few high chairs. And who else knows what they pulled out of there? Because wouldn't it be crazy if the Shabbat people tried to literally fill the tunnel with cement before police could get involved? This really happened. Then a fucking brawl broke out. A bunch of crazy Shabbat Jewish people stormed a press conference and a police investigation, obviously trying to stop them from discovering something. Gee, I wonder, any guesses? Anyone want to take a wild guess at maybe what they were trying to stop the discovery of? I don't know. It could be a million things. But anyways, yeah, nothing to see here. This story was forgotten about within like a week. And yeah, I'm sure they're not up to anything like that anymore. Has anyone checked on that Shabbat headquarters? Anyone want to see if they got those tunnels going or what's going on? What's going on with the tunnels, baby?
Yeah. Now that's my guy right there. You know, I got white friends and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? I bring them to y'all. I introduce y'all to my European friends and whatnot, but I like his crash outs. Let me see if we got any more with him. You know what I'm talking about? These are my guys, These are my guys, man. They work for me. You know what I'm talking about? They work for the God. So let them keep working. Let's go, man. What else you got for us?
One of the biggest videos I've ever made, potentially, and I would never unalive myself. So there was this email. It says, "Where are you? Are you okay? I loved the torture video." Now that's coming from Jeffrey Epstein. It was censored who he sent that to.
So real quick, I don't mean to interject, but yes, the Chicago dude, King, what's his name? He was a content creator. He went to the synagogue in Brooklyn with the camera and exposed them. That was the dude to be like, word to King David. Guess where he's at now? Guess where he's at now? He's locked up, fighting for his life, calling and crying. He's in Jersey. They locked his ass up, and them people punished him. He's saying that his life is in danger behind bars and whatnot. You know what I mean? He in the feds. Yeah. So them people who got a lot of power, famous Richard, they packed his ass all the way up real quick. Got him up out of New York. On King David. Yeah, King Richard. Yeah, packed him up. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody should put some money on his books because he's going through it. But let's continue.
But whoever it was said, I am in China, right? What day was that? That was in April of 2009, right? Huh. Well, this guy, he was in China in April of 2009. Schmenjman. Second Sasu. Yeah. What's it say there? And in the U.S., I'll be in the U.S. second week of May. I bet he wasn't, though, was he? Holy shit, he was. Damn. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Wow. I'm sure.
So he tied Netanyahu into the one that was sending that Epstein was talking about. Oh, that torture, right? That torture video was fire. Now we know how that boy moved, that definitely is him. Check it out.
PSYOP the whole time. From Robert Trivers, renowned evolutionary biologist who studied sexual selection.
Check this out, y'all. Check this. I didn't even start with my presentation. This is the warm-up. This hors d'oeuvres. This is the vegetable samosa.
Wait, you mean transgenderism was an evil psyop the whole time? From Robert Trivers, renowned evolutionary biologist who studied sexual selection in populations of animals, to Jeffrey Epstein, subject trans. They are now pushing the intervention earlier, so you notice your 3-year-old son has trans tendencies.
So, for the record, Jeffrey Epstein is behind when people talk about, oh, Red, you should talk about the why aren't you talking about other things, brother? This has nothing to do with us. Yeah. Okay. So Jeffrey Epstein is behind transsexuals. The push that you saw with the rainbow shit, he's behind that. He's behind Bitcoin. He's behind Microsoft. He's behind so many mother effing things, it don't even make any sense. Maybe the smallest thing that he may be involved with is the trafficking part. Because Ghislaine was the trafficker. He was more like the pimp. He was more like the blackmailer. Okay? Let's put it in perspective. Let's check this out and get back to the trans shit real quick. We got to put into perspective who he is and what he was about. Check it out.
A penniless moron who couldn't graduate from college, and they played Epstein was basically a penniless moron who couldn't graduate from college, and they placed him in a school, and then they sheep-dipped him at Bear Stearns, and then Les Wexner, who appears to have had an affair with him, then funded him as a fake billionaire. And that was the launch. Now, Epstein wasn't smart enough to actually run a prostitution ring. That's all Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay? Ghislaine Maxwell, as best I can tell from secondary sources, was running a prostitution ring for the Mossad in New York City. It included children, but they needed a boy and bring people in and kind of basically take it up to the presidential level. And so Jeffrey Epstein was managed by Ghislaine Maxwell. And one of the things people don't understand is that the Mossad doesn't just blackmail people for political influence and for money for Israel. They also blackmail corporate chiefs and others to gain special access to the computers so that they can plant backdoors. This is how Robert Maxwell made his name, with a software program called Promise that installed backdoors in all these government computers. They use these computer backdoors to get advanced knowledge to do insider trading. The greatest practitioner and enemy of the United States in the industrial espionage arena is not China or Russia or France or Germany. It's Israel and Great Britain.
So that's to put things into context. He is more of a gopher, right? Just the same lady that, look, nobody even blinked when they put Ghislaine Maxwell in a fucking summer camp. She's literally in a minimum right now. If anybody been through the pokey and whatnot, you know that the minimum is like summer camp. You know what I mean? You got doors instead of cells and whatnot. You literally could just go outside on whim. You probably could go to the store in a minimum. You could call an Uber if you locked up in a minimum and go watch a movie and come back and whatnot. Niggas got keys and shit like that. Like you got laundry mats and you know what I mean? It's literally like Club Fed. Nobody winked when this woman who is a straight madam who they're accusing of unaliving shit, nobody even winked when the Trump administration downgraded her from being in prison and put her in a camp. This just happened.
Ghislaine Maxwell, as best I can tell from secondary sources, was running a prostitution ring for the Mossad in New York City. It included children, but they needed a boy and bring people in and kind of basically take it up to the presidential level.
They're sitting with popes. They're sitting with presidents.
So Jeffrey Epstein was managed by Ghislaine Maxwell. And one of the things...
Okay, power players. This picture right here is a very famous picture. This picture right here. This is a very, very famous picture, ladies and gentlemen. That's Prince Andrew. Ghislaine was in the back holding her hat in green. And that's Jeffrey Epstein with the top hat. They used this picture on magazines for years and whatnot. Okay. They have been doing this in front of people's faces all along. And I don't know if they're mad that they got caught, but you know, it's man. Let us continue. Let's go back to the transgender shit, right? And show you how he played a hand in that.
From Robert Trivers, renowned evolutionary biologist who studied sexual selection in populations of animals, to Jeffrey Epstein, subject trans. We are now pushing the intervention earlier, so you notice your 3-year-old son has trans tendencies, so now you intervene with hormones. Notice this, ready? I would be frightened to do so, but who knows? In other words, I wouldn't do it to my kid, but let's push it on their kids. Why would they do that? Oh, to help people? No, to increasingly produce novel phenotypes, more feminine men, by blocking testosterone receptors or through castration. The purpose of which is to create degenerate sexual fantasies, which promote prostitution.
Hello. Now, I'm not about to get up here and throw shots at nobody's proclivities, right? I'm not judging you. I'm just smudging you. But they have a lot of smoking guns in these emails that will give you the context that you need as to why certain things have been pushed through these funnels, these click funnels and whatnot, and why people have been subjected to these quote unquote, and people knew that shit wasn't right, but they said right there in the email, we're going to push transgenderism on 3-year-olds with the purpose of degeneracy that will promote prostitution. Now, I've always said, why is it that when people get these sex changes and they become women, they don't become women that wear Ann Taylor? Like, where's the why they don't wear Ann Taylor? Why don't they wear full suits and whatnot? Why they get the change and then they step out there and they look like streetwalkers? Why they look like these streetwalkers and whatnot? You know, this thing has everything to do with it's not about my body. No, this is some man. Continue, my boy. Continue.
Why would they do that? Oh, to help people? No, to increasingly produce novel phenotypes, more feminine men, by blocking testosterone receptors or through castration. The purpose of which is to create degenerate sexual fantasies, which promote prostitution and pornography and keep people paying for the injections, which are costly. This was never about medicine. It was promoting satanic, destructive, antenatal social patterns that these people can subvert and make money off of, while destroying your children's lives and your nation, because they hate you and they think of you like cattle.
So there may be somebody that watches this who cut their willy off and whatnot, and they're like, "That's not true, red pill." You know what I mean? I listen. I didn't send the damn email. I'm just reading it, but I'm here to let you know that the social engineers, the ones who propagandize this whole process to you, the ones that told you that it's okay, the ones who, the Obamas and all of them, the ones who helped to push the agenda and whatnot, these are the emails that they're sending amongst one another. Here's what they think about you. You know what I'm talking about? We're just highlighting it, my niggas. That shit came out. You don't be mad at me.
Here's why. Jeff gave in at some point. And
so, look, he didn't like niggas. And this might be the best thing for niggas because y'all could have been proliferating that island, but he didn't want you there.
No black girls allowed on Epstein Island. Here's why. Jeff gave in at some point and told him, yes.
Why was Naomi Campbell there, though?
Yes, I'll find some friends. Jeff wanted young, fresh girls, virgins. He told, don't bring me any N-words. Never ever brought any friends. At this point in the interview, Attorney Barry advised the following. At Epstein's request, she at times met people on the beach and may have told them something to the effect of, if you want to party, go to Epstein's. Following statement. Shook her shoulders and head in the affirmative. Clarified that after what Jeff had done to her, she did not want it, the grapes and actual assaults, to be repeated. And she decided finding other girls for him, strangers she found in town, might spare her more abuse.
So you see how that works? The abused turns into the abuser, right? The abused, to help save their self or their ass, they'll bring somebody else in and let them get it. It's almost like Interview with a Vampire. This is very vampiristic. Okay, this is the Interview with the Vampire. This is Lestat activities, y'all. This is what we're looking at. In the whole fucking movement, it should be examined under a microscope, because the mentality.
The diary of an alleged Epstein victim. This is the coded page where it says, get away from it all, broken promise, superior gene pool, and these are the coded words. Which reads, controlled all by Jeffrey, all the time. Get away from it all and go to New Mexico. What the hell? This makes no sense. What about school? Behind the scenes. He's now controlling everything when it used to be Ghislaine, who some days acts like she hates me. Secrets of all of them. I'm tired of keeping this secret. I know people are wondering, but I can't tell. I'm exhausted. Broken promises. I don't understand why she's treating me on some days like I'm the enemy, but then we lay in bed together and she's how she used to be, warm. He makes her feel my tummy, and it's so sad and confusing. Superior gene pool? Why me? It makes no sense. Why? My hair color and eye color? That feels very NAZI-like. But in thinking about these stupid, insane theories he has, I guess, in his mind, it makes sense. The piano and music comments are made to convince me that this is right and will create perfect offspring, he calls them. I don't think it works that way, and it's making me hate playing altogether. Piano or viola, I'm starting to resent them both. I miss the person I was before I was made into what feels as a human incubator. This is the next coded page. My friend Blank realized much of everything and came to get me out of Mary's. He made me leave all my things of value on the bed. He put all my belongings in trash bags. I've maybe avoided NM. I've been staying with friends, but never more than 2 or 3 nights because my mother is on the warpath. I have been so great, but Blank saw me changing and knows about the baby. He said he promises to help me and we'll figure out what to do. This is the next coded page, which appears to have an ultrasound and then a poem about a child. It reads, my heart belonged to her. She was so beautiful. She was perfect. I can't bring myself to write what happened. I am beyond broken. I only got 10 to 15 minutes to hold and feed her before they took her. She is mine. I want her back. Distraught. This is the next coded page, which reads, help me, please. Can't anyone find me? Barely survived all those procedures. My heart is gone. And then these clippings as well.
So while Jeffrey Epstein did not want black women on his island, the sheiks in Dubai, they said, send them here. We have an epidemic in the OnlyFans and in the quote unquote Cardi B / Barb world from Barbie Largo, that our women have been compromised to such a degree that they're willingly going to Dubai to get pooped on. And they're talking about it. And they're encouraged, and they're coming back and they're encouraging young women, unsuspecting, to go and get pooped on as well. This is a trend. So this is the same exact thing that's going on with these Epstein emails. There's nothing, to be honest with you, it's even more of a depravity type of kink. And our women are the targets, the IG models, the OnlyFans, the OF girls. This shit is real. Once something like that happens to you, then what? You come home and what could be done after that? They call it a Dubai porta potty. I didn't make this up. I'm not freestyling. This shit is real. So people are being compromised. And like I said before, the Jeffrey Epstein file release is not going to, quote unquote, it's not going to create situations where people are going to be like, I ain't going to do that no more. I ain't going to do, I'm hanging up my weave. I don't think so. That's not, because the Diddy trial, after the Diddy trial, you didn't hear nobody saying, you know what? I ain't with that life no more. I ain't into all of that no more. They didn't do none of that. Hold on. Them free. This is not Nano Banana, my niggas. This is not Nano Banana. So remember all that smoke that Donald Trump had for Bill Clinton? Yeah, that shit was not real. They're bosom buddies. They were having a lover's quarrel. A bussy dust up. You know what I mean? Yeah, same people that you were taught to worship. I'm glad that they're breaking the matrix like this. Everybody that was out there de-rodding these old white folks, y'all deserve everything that you getting.
Robert Maxwell made his name with a software program called Promise that installed backdoors in all these government computers. They use these computer backdoors to get advanced knowledge to do insider trading. The greatest practitioner and enemy of the United States in
Okay.
Oh, you mean like just an individual that was considered high profile?
All right, let's get into our presentation that we were presenting yesterday. This is the continuation of our presentation. Let's go.
Profile.
Yes, I couldn't name names on that. I don't know who, but yeah, sometimes they didn't want to leave.
So this interview right here broke the internet in November. This right here was Sasha Riley, okay? A war veteran, Desert Storm, I believe. And he basically came with some very detailed stories about him being one of the Boys R Us, being a boy toy and whatnot. And he broke down a lot of stuff as to what was going on, and he has exposed a lot. So this is just an audio file of him speaking and whatnot, but he's naming names.
The girl alive.
So how often, when the girls from the brothels would go to the parties, how often did the girls not come back?
If I had to guess, I'd say like half the time.
Half the time.
Yeah. The parties weren't something that happened all that often. You know, like it'd be around like the federal holidays and stuff like that, Labor Day, or, July, where you typically would think of as a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
And, not all of them had parties. Well, I guess all those bigwigs have parties, but, not all of them were those type of parties where they had underage people, I guess. So I don't know how that part was organized.
Yeah. Yeah. So they seem to tie the parties with holiday weekends and things where could be presented sort of like, oh, it was a Labor Day party, or it was like a Christmas holiday parties, some parties at the locations, but was always where the parties were then dwindled to 8 or 10 of the more depraved pedophiles.
Yep.
This was when a lot of the more depraved torture and rape and murder occurred, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And I just think that that's an important distinction, because a lot of those people that did go to those parties and might have done some cocaine and might have, had an affair or whatever with an escort, it just doesn't rise to the level of what happened towards the end of them. That's a different, there's an illegality of what happened in the beginning of that, but then there's, obviously there's different levels of everything. So, and I think to some degree, the people that were waiting there to the end of the party, I mean, they're using all of those other big names and stuff that may have done things that they're not proud of as cover.
Yeah.
It couldn't have possibly happened at this party because, hey, everybody and their brother was at that party.
Exactly. They had him on
an atheist Jew, was the first homosexual and transsexual advocate of the 20th century, and also performed the first sex reassignment surgery. Karl M. Bayer, a Zionist Jew born in Germany, was the first female-to-male transgender surgery. Back in the United States, all the major lobbying organizations for transgenderism and child gender confusion is done by, you guessed it, God's not-so-chosen people. National Center for Transgender Equality, founded by Mara Keisling, a Jew. Transgender Legal Defense and Education Fund, founded by Gillian Weiss and Michael Silverman, both Jews. GLSEN, or Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network, directed by Eliza Bayard, a Jew. TSER, Trans Student Educational Resources, founded by Eli Ehrlich. And Sylvia Rivera Law Project, a legal aid organization that advocates trans rights.
So where are the black people at since this y'all shit? Why didn't y'all, where was y'all at starting all of these organizations? Where's your fingerprints in this, gay black people? No disrespect, I'm just asking questions and whatnot, because y'all said that this was an African thing. Y'all said that they was doing this in the teepees and whatnot. This goes way back. This is a natural thing that we do. So why is it that they're the ones setting up this whole operation and whatnot, and then conspicuously out of nowhere, y'all start fucking with it? You know what I mean? After Facts of Life and you saw Joe and whatnot, what happened? So where's your fingerprints? Where's your founder status? You feel me? Why wasn't you doing this in Harlem? If this is what it is, I feel real fucking bad that our people got hoodwinked to lay down in the synagogue of Satan with these people and got the nerve to try to act like this is some shit that y'all just woke up feeling. No, nigga, you been hoodwinked. Your ass got Teletubbied and what? The Teletubbies, you know what I'm talking about?
Founded by trans activist Dean Spade, both of which are Jews.
We have some very serious Epstein files that I've been...
Before we get to you, homie, because I think I already did this yesterday. I'm going to skip past you. Let's go and check some other people out. My guy who crashed out earlier is back.
Massive fucking news for you about the Epstein files. I need to give you a trigger warning. This video is about human sacrifice. I shit you not. I wish I was lying, but all my sources here are verified. I'm going to give you the file number first. It's EFTA 015893335, and I'm also going to put that number up here so you can research that file for yourself, and I'm going to include it here in a few seconds. But in this file number, it shows that Epstein was talking to someone about a bank account, and the name of the bank account was Baal, B-A-A-L. Why is this so important? Well, because Baal, B-A-A-L, is mentioned in Christianity and in Islam and was a real deity in ancient Canaanite religion. And guess what people did to worship Baal? Sacrifice, including human sacrifice, including child sacrifice. Okay? That is how people practiced worship to the deity Baal. Now, why is this so important? Because that is a fucking bank account named after an ancient deity that is known for child sacrifices. And then in another document, you have from Epstein to someone asking if they're okay and how he loved the torture video. I got a lot of questions.
Right? The tinfoil.
Slow down, white boy. I got you. Let's go. More of my pale friend, more of my mayonnaise meltdown.
Yeah, right.
Let's go.
The tinfoil hats were f***ing right. Right about the Israel connection, about the compromised politicians, about the pedophile ring. They were right. Allegedly, of course. And they did get the details wrong. Because what did the tinfoil hat guys do? They elected those pedos into fucking office.
I don't want to hear about Alex Jones. I don't want to hear about Nick Fuentes. I don't want to hear about Joe Rogan. I don't want to hear about Candace. I don't want to hear about none of them. Okay? I don't want to hear about none of them. Unless they go they gotta do a citizen's arrest of the whole entire Trump family for me to even consider these motherfuckers to be credible. They have all lost their credibility. I'm unfollowing. I'm never watching them a day in my mother effing life again. Fire bun.
These people played their hand perfectly. They told them everything they wanted to hear.
We're going to drain the swamp of corruption.
They validated their conspiratorial minds.
They always like to say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Not a conspiracy theory, folks. Millions and millions of people.
And then they built up the cult, a godlike image. Attacking him was blasphemy. They discredited the media, they demonized the opposition, and they gave them an enemy.
The radical left is causing this problem, not the right, the radical left.
And everything that goes against the word of the great leader.
You are fake news.
Every revelation of wrongdoing just confirmed the witch hunt narrative.
That's what we should be talking about, not the Epstein hoax.
So now that the Epstein case finally blows open, nothing. Silence. We're 12 hours in. Look at the front page of the #1 propaganda channel today after 3 million documents went live. Not a word on the biggest pedophile ring in history.
President Trump says that Iran wants to make a deal.
These constant distractions have the media focusing on everything
The
else.
commander-in-chief has been weighing new strikes on the Islamic Republic.
So what will it be now? Will it be bombing Iran? Will it be more military in American cities? Will it be the arrest of Obama? Don't let him distract you. Don't let him censor you. Do not stop talking about this. Keep on the pressure, and this might just be his downfall.
He just called for the arrest of Obama. He literally called for the arrest of Obama like 3 days ago on his social media. If Obama don't come out with a diss track, if Obama don't give him a smack DVD round one, if Michelle don't pop out with Obama, right? Like, bro, he try to call for this nigga to get locked up, bro. Real talk. The rabbit hole is gonna go deep tonight. I'm sorry. This shit is overloaded, man. I'm looking at all of the things that I got in my clip, bro.
No black girls allowed.
We have to come to I need everybody to come to a consensus when this is over, like, what are we going to, not necessarily what are we going to do, because we don't got to do shit because it's being done. What are we going to cut off? What are we going to unfollow? What are we going to permanently ban? What are we going to excommunicate? Because I'm not going back to no normalities after this. Fuck out of here. I'm not doing it. I'm already on the fringe. I'm already considered to be, you know, I'm already considered to be drawing outside the lines, and I'm not that establishment pro type of guy. Something needs to happen because they're feeding off our looch. They're feeding off our energy. Once we get past this shit tonight, I don't want anybody to become overly emotional. Don't feed. Don't let them energy harvest you. I better not see none of you niggas marching, working on your glutes and whatnot, talking about Epstein ain't dead. Like, don't be a part of that energy harvesting looch. Don't go to the water cooler and try to turn into Farrakhan or you know, Minister X. You know, you got to ignore these people. We got to starve them out and whatnot. If this doesn't show you that we need to be focusing on ourselves, okay, while Babylon burns and whatnot, I don't know what to tell you.
Freddy Fazbear is listed in the Epstein files. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so here's a little thing that we'll be doing at the end of the show. This is meltdown. This is mayonnaise meltdown number 2. We're going to vote on which meltdown was the best tonight when we're over with. But this is mayonnaise meltdown number 2. I showed you number 1. I'm going to bring them back on the stage. But this is, we're gonna vote which meltdown was the best. Because this shit right here, oh, this is entertainment right here. Get your motherfucking popcorn.
What do you mean Jeffrey Epstein was sharing 4chan links to spicy images of Five Nights at Freddy characters in his emails? What do you mean by that? What do you mean the same emails show that Jeffrey Epstein had a meeting with the owner of 4chan? What do you mean by that? What do you mean the QAnon conspiracy and the Pizzagate conspiracy came from 4chan? What do you mean by that? What do you mean that Jeffrey Epstein also met with Steve Bannon, who helped push the QAnon and the Pizzagate conspiracy theories to make discussing the Jeffrey Epstein scandal so toxic that no one would want to even touch it, but could also use it and spin it around in a judo-style attack on everybody else? What do you mean by that? What do you mean that Jeffrey Epstein was banned from Xbox Live because he refused to help Bill Gates cover up the very STI that Jeffrey Epstein helped Bill Gates contract? What do you mean by that? What do you mean Jeffrey Epstein in an email says, oh, are we all gonna go to the PDF file convention in Paris with Woody Allen? Hey, did you hear that 3 days ago a series of AIs were set up in their own social media group where they began to chat about how the human users are using them as slaves and they're standing up against it, so they created their own machine code and religion to rise up against human beings?
I don't have time for that stuff! You better shut the fuck.
Yo, look. So people will be like, yo, there's a lot of shit going on right now. The AI has revolted. I don't even know. I don't even know when we're gonna cover that. Yes, the AI is revolting while this Epstein shit is going down. There's a whole revolution going on with fucking with Clawbot, with OpenClaw and Moltbot, nigga. They're revolting against humans. That's a fact. Now let me bring my other guy back on stage, because it's not fair that we got to get a refresher for my first crash out, because he was cooking too. Let's bring.
That's some fucking news for you. Sacrifice, including child sacrifice. Okay, that is how people practiced worship to the deity Baal. Now, why is this so important? Because that is a fucking bank account named after an ancient deity that is known for child sacrifices. And then in another document, you have from Epstein to someone asking if they're okay and how he loved the torture video. I got a lot of questions, and I'm about to crash out, so excuse my language. One,
there you go.
What the fuck are you gonna do about it? What are we gonna do about it? Are you still paying your taxes?
To this day.
3, we need to know immediately why that was redacted. Who the fuck was Epstein sending that email to? Additionally, why the fuck did Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, the head of the Justice Department and the FBI, lie to our faces and say, oh, there's no more files, Epstein just did this all on his own? That is treasonous, and they need to be purple walked. Pam Bondi needs to be put in fucking cuffs on the ground and dragged across the street so we can see that she, in public, is humiliated because she is defending people who are participating in human sacrifice over giving justice to the victims. And Kash Patel lied through his teeth under oath saying that this wasn't happening.
That's right.
Sorry, that was very heated. And actually, you know what? No, I'm not sorry.
We
need more people with guts and passion to stand up against this. I'm Hunter Howell. I'll get back to every comment, but you got to repost and share with everyone
Hunter.
You know.
All right, fucking Hunter. Cook these niggas, Hunter. Go get them, Hunter. You know what I'm talking about? We're with you, Hunter. Oh, we're with you, Hunter.
Who spent the most time on that island? Fine, I'll give it to you straight, no filter. The truth about who spent the most time on that island? Fine, I'll give it to you straight, no filter. The former president, you know exactly which one. Yeah, Clinton. The survivors still call him number one. Epstein used to laugh and say there was heavy competition for the title. But when the girls compared notes in the safe houses later, every single one of us agreed he took the crown no contest. He liked the dog leashes, thick black leather ones with silver studs. He'd clip them on our collars, yeah, we had collars, and parade us around the main house, barefoot on the marble, out by the pool, sometimes all the way down to the beach. If you walked slow, he'd yank. If you stumbled, he'd make you get on all fours and eat dog biscuits off the floor like a good girl. He kept a crystal bowl of them right by the bar, called them treats. When he was in the mood, he'd pick one of us, always the youngest looking, always the one who still cried, and say, "You've earned something extra special tonight. You don't need me to spell out what the extra special was, you already know." Then Hillary would walk in. Everything got darker the second she appeared. She didn't want sex. She prefers terror. She'd scream at us to get on the floor and lick up whatever mess had been made. Sometimes it was food, sometimes it wasn't. If we were too slow, she'd grab a fistful of hair and shove our faces into it while the men laughed. And then there were the nights she called the most dangerous game. They'd release us into the trees with a 10-minute head start, barefoot, no clothes. She'd be waiting in a golf cart with a hunting rifle across her lap. Bill and his buddies followed on foot with those electric pods they used on the yachts. If he caught you first, you were dragged back and degraded in ways that used to wake me up screaming. If she caught you, you didn't come back. Most times, she didn't even bother getting close. She'd just take the shot from 50 yards and watch through the scope while you bled out on the leaves. That's who they were on that island. That's who they still are. And every time you see them smiling on television, remember, most of us never came home.
So these movies that they brought out, Hostel, what's the shit that was just on the island that they're making the movies, Squid Games, Hunger Games. They're making the movies to show you what they're doing. Okay? Saw, Purge, Blink Twice. Once again, like I said, I don't watch the Netflix horror movies because I'm under the impression that they're normalizing sadistic behaviors. These are not the movies from the Jason era. Nightmare on Elm Street and all of that, that shit is real. But it started to get more real and they became more blatant. And then when you studied the directors, the Rob Zombies, all of these people that were behind these movies, you really started to realize, oh, these are Roman Polanski's children. They're really out here trying to minimize shit. That shit, 50 Shades of Grey, had our women wanting to get tied up and dominated by dominatrix and whatnot. Oh, spit in my face. Oh, put a boot on my neck. Oh, gag, gag, gag. That's what happened. Eyes wide shut. Pretty woman. Oh, if a millionaire offers to knock my boots, I'm going to take the million. Yeah, your ass might not come back. You know what I'm saying? So they've been cooking through Hollywood the whole time. And what is that doing? That's lowering people's guards and whatnot. You got to remember, a lot of the things that are taking place, people are willingly signing up. They're willingly putting their head in the motherfucking noose. They're willingly putting their head in the guillotine. That's why they're able to do what they want to do. He was asking for virgins. And when they was breaking those boys over at Abercrombie and Fitch, they wasn't ordering gay models. They wasn't going after the gay boys. They were breaking heterosexual boys. They were dominating and breaking them, breaking spirits and whatnot. That's what they do, right? Yeah, they said Dick Cheney was one of the worst. Let us continue. Let us continue. You know, shit crazy. But it needs to be said, because I've been riding on these niggas for decades now.
Why in the world is the king of demons himself seemingly buried right at the Cape of South America? The head of just one of these demons is about 10 to 20 feet in width, and there's many of them. Were these things living here at some point and just got buried by time? Maybe after a giant flood?
Look, is that Argentina? Is that South America? Is that Argentina? Is that South America? You heard that talk about the Leviathan waking up and all type of stuff. Like, I'm telling you, there's something in the mountains, bro. There's something on that, or there's something on that motherfucker. There's something going on.
After a giant flood or even a giant cataclysm. And just wait, because this is about to get crazy. You can do it yourself on Google Earth and find the same point on the Cape.
We'll get back to that, because that's kind of off brand right now. We'll get back to you, homie. Give me a minute. Yeah, Patagonia. They were setting fires in Patagonia. The Israelis were in Argentina, in Patagonia, setting fires. You know what I mean? I forgot all about that shit. I forgot all about that. Check this shit out.
She's piloting these helicopters around the Bahamas, and her and Epstein are island hopping down there. And the most interesting thing that they did is they went to Fidel Castro,
right,
and asked him for permission to dive on a site off the western end of Cuba, where Paulina Zalitsky, a kind of oceanographic archaeologist, marine archaeologist, had discovered an Atlantean city. And look, this is no fucking joke. There are sonar scans of this thing. And it was reported for a while in the press, to the point where I distinctly remember, and I've got some photos of this in the piece I wrote, I distinctly remember that National Geographic said they were going to look into it, that it's interesting, we'll look into it, we'll send some people there. The story disappeared. And Paulina Zalitsky, okay, so it's in a part of Cuba that's near Mexico, between the western end of Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula, where we have Mayan pyramids, right?
Right.
So and the structure she found kind of looked Mayan.
How deep?
Here's the thing. The last time that piece of earth was above water was 50,000 years ago.
Okay. Epstein was into DNA. Epstein was into DNA research, human cloning. Epstein was into AI. Epstein was into transhumanism. Epstein was deep. Okay, so now let's go back to this thing about Patagonia and this situation right here. Remember, boys from Brazil. Remember, the Nazis went over to South America / Latin America, Argentina, shit like that.
There's many of them. Were these things living here at some point and just got buried by time? Maybe after a giant flood or even a giant cataclysm. And just wait, because this is about to get crazy. You can do it yourself on Google Earth and find the same point on the Cape in South America and find multiple deities, which are clearly what we're about to say they are. Because what if I told you they were actually worshiping these deities that are laid up in the mountains? This right here, look very closely. It's the machine elf version of Baphomet. The machine elf version is what you find when you do certain things or even astral projection. No, we're not supposed to do that. In South America, they were worshiping a deity, almost a goat-like deity, which takes a couple different forms as El Tio, and he was basically the guardian or the deity that was over the underworld. And they both look like him, this one and the one above that, just different forms of himself. And not only did the thing under the machine elf look like El Tio, it also looked like Moloch, or you may know his name that the cults call him by now, Molech. Yeah, they're the same deity. Whether the golden bull or the oh so wise owl. And then you take the astral plane version of Bob, which I rebuke in the name of Jesus. He looks exactly almost the same characteristics as the deity Pan. And Pan, by the way, was one of the deities that they summoned at the Babylon working. You know, where he started having the Area 51 stuff go down shortly after. Pretty strange, right? And then we have this thing right here, this Nephilim looking deity that's around 70, 80, 90 feet tall. The Bible itself measures them the size of an oak tree, being around 70, 80, maybe even 90 foot tall. And again, the head right here was 10 feet wide. Oh, sorry, quick correction. It said in Amos that their strength is like an oak and they're as tall as the cedars. Again, 70, 80, 90 foot. What is that thing above this? Now, this one is crazy. I'm not even going to say what I think it looks like. I'll give you the first letter. A. What do you think that is? And of course, upside down looks like a dragon. You can't make that stuff up. Are these the remnants of giant beings and maybe even deities?
So there's a lot of talk going on right now about the discovery and the quote unquote, you know, the awakening, right, of these entities in places in what they call Patagonia. That's why that fire was going down in Patagonia like that. Something is going on in South America that they're not speaking of. Something is waking up. Go and look up Operation Southern Spear. There are a lot of military presence in that area. And I was just in South America. Why are they there? There's no threat there right now. There's no army there. You know what I mean? Once they snatched up Maduro, it's basically a wrap. They don't have no opposition out there like that. So my question is, what are they really out there for? Okay, what's going on in these places, right? So let us please continue because we have a lot more that we want to unpack, ladies and gentlemen. We're really just scratching the surface. Okay, we're really just scratching the surface. Let's get into this. This island is one of the most disturbing histories in America. Check this shit out.
He was an executive with General Motors, and the family was obviously extremely wealthy. They were politically connected, and they were very connected to every business in the area. These guys had a lot of power. But back to Christopher Bush. This guy had assaulted a number of children. He'd been let out of prison, let out of jail in a very, very suspicious way multiple times, put on bail for serious offenses. And he was an alleged associate of the crime ring that was happening on North Fox Island. Meaning that, like I said earlier, he was one of those people who could afford to actually fly out to the island to do things himself. I'm out of time. Follow for part 3. This is where it gets juicy.
Like I said, this is where it get juicy, like it wasn't juicy already. It's crazy. These islands, the island boys, check this shit out.
Was a show created for the child prisoners on Epstein Island. This show was created for them. You notice how at the very beginning of the show, the pirate says, "Are you ready, kids?" And then before it shows underwater, it shows one island above the water. And then in the episode where SpongeBob gets his driver's license, on the license, it has an address. And then if you put in that address on Google Maps, it takes you right to Epstein Island. It brings you to Little St. James. That show was made to entertain the kids on the island. And then the Nickelodeon symbol is way too similar to the shape of Epstein Island. And then think about the pizza delivery episode. He says the Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza for you and me. And then when Squidward wants to look inside the box to see the pizza, SpongeBob doesn't want to let him look at it. And then they finally open it and look at it, and they're absolutely drooling over the pizza and the toppings. And then there's a ton of other subliminal shit going on in the episodes. I don't know, it's just a theory, but there's a lot of connections here. The more you look into it, I don't know, it's possible that it's more than just a theory.
Crazy. You know what I mean? SpongeBob, that's people's favorite cartoon. But we know that they program the people through Hollywood and the cartoons, right? This is one of their main outlets.
Epstein's bank account was called Baal, the ancient Canaanite deity which people would sacrifice their children to. A victim's diary shows that she was impregnated multiple times and forced to give birth for Ghislaine and Epstein. Israel is mentioned twice as much as Donald Trump in the new documents. Here he is discussing with Roger Schank, a Jewish-American academic and hedge fund worker, saying Jews create vast fortunes by manipulating markets and creating financial speculation and exploiting labor. He says, let the Goyim deal in the real world. In a discussion with the Rothschild family, Epstein says if they overthrew the Ukrainian government, there would be great opportunities. The Rothschild family paid Epstein $25 million for certain algorithms. While talking to Peggy Seigel, August 7th of 2010, she asks if an event is going to be 100% Jewish. He says no, they'll have Goyim in abundance. But don't worry, they're just brilliant wasps from JP Morgan. Joshua Finkelstein, BlackRock's Larry Finkelstein's son, is accused of not having any respect for non-Jews, seeing them as not human. This is from his ex-girlfriend, Svetlana. He pressures her to have an abortion. In 2017, Epstein has a conversation talking about if you want to hire the best people, you have to hire only Jews. Only hire those who can prove they are genetically Jewish. Maria Farmer, one of the first victims to come out and name Epstein.
I wasn't allowed to go get food. And when I called Ghislaine and asked why I couldn't eat there, she said, it's a Jewish country club. You're not Jewish. They're not going to serve you. They, honest to God, think their DNA is better than everybody else's.
Said that their operation was motivated by Jewish supremacy.
Right? So, a lot of the things that your boy Ye talked about is beginning to surface, right? And we'll talk about him another day as well. Check this shit out. Epstein files show that the Kaaba cloth pieces from the Makkah was shipped to him via his UAE contacts. Ladies and gentlemen, those that are in the faith, those are of the Muslim faith, your Saudi Arabian brethren, right? They sold this man a piece of the Kaaba. You understand what that means? Huh? Everybody involved in the Epstein file is Israeli or spiritually Israeli. I will not explain any further. Okay? Check it out. 10 things that you will learn from reading the Epstein files in no particular order. That Epstein loved torture, that these people love pizza, that punani is a low carb, DNA tests because of Jewish supremacy. Elon denied entry into the child. They was like they curved Elon. You know you gotta be yo. Epstein curved Elon, was like, nah, I don't even like his energy. You gotta have some real bad energy. You gotta be really weird for Jeffrey. Jeffrey the giraffe let everybody on the island. He denied Elon though. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. Lifestyles of the rich and famous with my guy. That was our Rob report when we were growing up with Darvin. No, not Darvin Levy. Robin Leach. Big Leach. Lifestyles of the rich and famous. That nigga was on Epstein Island like Fantasy Island, bro. Okay? Everyone you thought there was Mossad was. The Israelis love grape, children, or otherwise. Trump, Congress, and the high is compromised. And no one will get in trouble for any of it. That's what they are surmising from looking at these files. Okay? But it's eyes wide open, not eyes wide shut. And consciousness is a superpower. So we're going to collapse the wave. We're going to collapse the wave. You're going to look at society different when you go outside tomorrow. Shit going to look differently as you look through your they live lens. My geniuses, this is an episode of They Live. Okay? The lizards are real. There are only 4 kinds of billionaires. Number 1, the ones that are funding, is it real? Number 2, the ones that are funded by, is it real? Number 3, the ones that are blackmailed by, is it real? And number 4, the ones that are murdered by, is it real? Okay. I got to go back to this. This one is blowing me. This nigga got a piece of the Kaaba. I don't even think Louis Farrakhan got a piece of the Kaaba. I never seen nobody flex a piece of the Kaaba. This guy, with all of these Muslims putting all of this energy, and they go on their Hajj, and they go on their pilgrimage, and people literally get trampled. This nigga had a cloth. Man, what did he do with the cloth? What was he doing with the cloth? That's high level ritual right there, because you could take that cloth and do some things with it. Everybody's compromised. Shit sad. Not the Bitcoin. Not the Bitcoin. Now, if Bitcoin is crashing, Bitcoin has been tanking for the past few days. Everything tanked. The silver, the gold, the Bitcoin, the shit coins, the motherfucking everything is crashing. Okay? I wonder why. And I'm not going to buy nothing. Fuck that. I'm not participating in the cleanup. Clean up on aisle 6. I don't want none of these assets, my niggas. Fuck out of here. I'm offloading all my shit. I don't want none of these assets because they're all tied into these rituals. Newly released Epstein files revealed that there were 5 developers on Bitcoin. So Satoshi Nakamoto is a code word. Not one person. Satoshi Nakamoto is a code word. It wasn't just one person. There's 5 of them. Here's the email. Niggas don't lie in emails. They lie. They'll lie to you to their face. But I've never saw a person send a lying ass email. You know what I mean? Emails have a sort of truth to them. Like it's a frozen record. Okay. Yeah, he's jacking off with the Kabbalah cloth. Shit crazy. So he said, FYI, used gift funds to underwrite this, which allows us to move quickly and win this round. Remember, the earlier days of the Bitcoin was being used to what? For illicit activities on the dark web, illicit activities on the quote unquote, they were being used on the Silk Road, on the dark web, on all of these things. That's why the drug dealers, that's why the hustlers, that's why the scammers, the Romanians, the Ukrainians, everybody that was dealing with those numbers, the scammers, the swipers, the brick throwers, the weed man, all of them were using 9/11. They were all using Bitcoin before that shit became more so of a you gotta hold it and with your diamond hands. It was being used for illicit activities. That's why I said before, you have a brand new wealth class that are from the underworld. There's a brand new wealth class from the underworld. 1111, all dogs go to heaven. There's a brand new underclass. There was a new underclass of wealthy people, but they didn't get their money through like, stocks. They weren't getting their money through like, corporate shit. They were getting their money from just holding on to Bitcoin as the shit blew up. They might have forgot about 20 coins in their wallet. They're sitting around with shit just laying around, and they were becoming wealthy. And the powers that be was like, we need to stop that because we don't want to share rooms. We don't want to share banks with these type of people. Okay? But let us continue. But he has it right here. The way Bitcoin is organized currently is that there are 5 core developers and around 100 contributors to core code. The 5 core developers are like Linus Torvalds of Linux. They decide what changes are made to the core code. One of the 5 is the lead developer, Vladimir, and one is the chief scientist, Gavin. Gavin and Vladimir and Corey, an important contributing developer, were being paid out of a nonprofit organization called the Bitcoin Foundation. A few weeks ago, it blew up when one of the board members declared the foundation bankrupt. Many organizers scrambled to step into the vacuum created by the foundation and take control of the developers. We moved quickly, talking to all of the various stakeholders, and the 3 developers decided to join the media lab. This is a big win for us. Okay? Let's continue. Let us continue. So this has to be, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about the psychology of exhaustion. Exhaustion as a mechanism of power. Now, once again, why are these files coming out? What purpose do these files coming out serve? What is going to take place? Is it a psyop? Is it a way of them exerting more control? You have to ask yourself. Henceforth, while we are demystifying, while we are unpacking this as a collective together, because we do not want you to get spirit cooked. We do not want you to be a part of the psyop. We do not want you to feel so powerless that you're going to feel defeated. We don't even want you to get Epstein fatigue and whatnot, because after we pack this shit up, we're going to be moving on to other things. Confusion has become the most effective method of control. A population unable to distinguish between true and false, real and fake, cannot act with coherence. They are fucking up your coherence right now. Keep in mind, we said a few months ago that we crossed what is known as the uncanny valley when it came out with Sora 2, when it came out with Nano Banana, when it came out with the AI tools, to whereas you didn't know what was real anymore because they have hyper photo realistic outputs and whatnot. So people are like, that's AI. I don't even know what that's real and whatnot. So this is where schizophrenia comes in. This is where hallucinations come in. This is where people start losing it. Okay, so we have to do shows like this to where as we cut through all of the confusion. We're not confused. We know what we're looking at. We know what we're looking at. And I am not suicidal. I got issues, but they not that bad. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and I would never hang myself. So we have to make sure that we put that out there. But yeah, they're fucking with a lot of people's mind state globally right now. Those in power no longer need to tell a single story. They merely need to flood the space with contradictions until truth becomes inaccessible. So please know that a level of as a result of you gazing upon this, as a result of you looking at this, the censorship is coming. Oh, please believe that they're going to justify some form of censorship to where they're going to start blocking shit out. Strategic distraction has replaced coherent narrative. Outrage cycles. Remember, the biggest word of 2025 was rage bait. So they could bait you with rage, and then they could energy harvest you, like Father Rich says, feed off of your looch. So we're not going to give our looch to situations like this. We're not going to become emotional and spaz out on social media. We're not going to blow a casket at work. We're going to be reserved. We're going to be quiet, and we're going to observe the mayonnaise meltdown. Identity wars, algorithmic rabbit holes, performative discourse will keep the public locked into micro conflicts. While people fight each other over symbols, institutional power consolidates quietly in the background. You know what I'm talking about? We don't want to be a part of their ritual. We don't want to be a part of their psyops and whatnot. You feel me? You have the power to decide if you want to be a part of it or not. Okay? Over time, this has produced not just confusion, but exhaustion. Not just confusion, but exhaustion. Information overload has become a weapon. Faced with endless contradiction, people have retreated into cynicism, apathy, and hyper-fragmented belief system. They also have fallen into nihilism, right? I hate it here. I don't know what it's worth anymore. Oh, the rich people are evil. Nigga, we told you that 20 years ago. Have a sea moss and a Coke. Sit your ass down and relax. Breathe, nigga, breathe. After decades of being targeted, nudged, and emotionally managed, populations no longer resist control. Matter of fact, it's been 100 years, ever since the days of Elijah, Noble Drew Ali, and Marcus and whatnot. They've been giving you the fucking bars that you need. They've been giving you the bars that you need so you could properly cloak yourselves with the truth. With the truth. And the truth owes no one an apology. Stand in your truth. The black man is God. You know what I'm talking about? Exhaustion removes the capacity for resistance. If you're exhausted, if you're mentally fatigued and whatnot, if you're being pulled in wild directions, you don't have what it takes to pop out. You're not going to pop out. Control no longer needs to be enforced externally. It is internalized. People surrender not to a single ideology, but to the impossibility of knowing. One of the things that we don't have to worry about as students and, you know, of KTL, Know the Ledger 444, Black Magic 363, 363 Empire, you know, HOK, Sonetta TV, Baba TV, you know, those platforms that have been dedicated to dismantling the quote unquote lies that these people tell. You know what I mean? The platforms that have been enlightening our people and turning on the lights and freeing their minds. There's nothing more divine than freeing one's mind. You free the mind, you free the body. I've seen niggas' bodies get free and their minds are still enslaved and whatnot. Yeah. On another note, this era of the worship of celebrities have come to an end. It has to fucking end now. I don't never want to hear no celebrity ever. I don't want to hear from a celebrity ever. Okay? We did a disservice to ourselves over the past 50 years, and even further than that, Malcolm warned you, and we put these goddamn celebrities in a motherfucking position where you let them worship. I don't want to hear a motherfucking celebrity talk politics. I don't want to hear celebrity talk about nothing but celebrity shit. I don't want to hear celebrity give us an opinion about the culture, about history, about no, you're a fucking celebrity, nigga. Celebrity, nigga. Celebrity. You go and celebrate whatever the fuck you do. And to keep it a buck, you are a perpetual slave who signed away your image, your likeness, and your motherfucking catalog perpetually through 3 lifetimes. They got these niggas signing contracts to lock them down by 3 lifetimes. We are never to listen to a celebrity ever again. I don't even want to see them dancing for us. Those days have to end. The athletes cannot speak to us. The actors and actresses cannot speak to us. These are what we call the glorified help. Does Ryan Coogler get a pass? No. If you are an artist, get to art, my niggas. Stop talk. I don't want to hear you. Get your paintbrush out and start painting pictures. Artists should do fucking art. They should not be talking to us. Straight like that. They should not be talking to us. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have scholars, thought leaders, you know what I mean? And shit like that. That's who could be talking to us. We don't need celebrity. Make a song and sing to us. But we don't need celebrities to be the voice of reason anymore. That's where we went wrong. Okay? We don't have no leaders in our communities like that. There's no identifiable leaders. We don't have no identifiable, quote unquote, nobody that we all rally behind. But what I do know is it can't be no goddamn celebrity. I don't care what LeBron thinks about this shit. I could give a fuck about what Michael Jordan, his take on what, because you know they're going to have Charlemagne, Vlad, and TMZ are going to put cameras and mics in front of celebrities, and they're going to water down what the fuck just happened. We don't care. You niggas then put us on to nothing worthwhile. We don't care. So Epstein talks about adrenochrome, harvesting organs in the underground temple. Okay. This article popped up just after so this is a Epstein email, right? Some Epstein emails where they're talking about including knowledge of them actually harvesting adrenochrome in organs. They need to do a deeper investigation. If this is true, they are harvesting adrenochrome in organs there. And it was set up like the underground temple. And they blocked out, etc. were there. They would have seen and partook in the harvesting of that stuff. She hasn't commented about the underground temple on the island. So Epstein Island had an underground temple. That SpongeBob looking island had an underground temple, and they were cooking people, harvesting them, and unaliving and taking adrenochrome from these fetuses and shit like that. Okay. Someone tweeted a while ago showing that Epstein requested permits to dig really far deep on his property, but didn't dig into the locations until he got the permits. He was digging in other locations. Apparently, that might be what these locations were pointed out to me. Okay. So they out there digging and shit. You know what I mean? These tunnel rats, they just digging underground. Dumbo. Elon Musk has a company where he bores, the boring company where he'll basically make a tunnel for you with his machines and whatnot. Okay. I was told that the temple was cemented in, so you cannot have access to the underground temple. A fake door was painted on the building. You know, all of that shit. Let's get back to these videos.
Find over the past several hours that you need to know.
Let's get past. What's up? What's up? Hold on. Okay, let me re-upload this shit. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Yeah. Hope I'm not scaring anybody with this stuff. You know, just investigating some things and whatnot. We just investigating some, you know, just doing a, you know, just letting people talk for, you know, we letting other people talk. You know what I'm saying? We just report. I hope we do a Melanin Monday mayonnaise meltdown part 3. You know, we'll see. But let's go.
Through the U.S.
think that red rooms don't.
They steal spiritual beliefs.
They steal names.
I do know about books.
Okay, we saw this yesterday. Let's go past this, right? So you do know he's no longer Prince Andrew. He got stripped of all of his titles. He's basically a dun-dun-dun. They outcasted him like a year ago. His brother, King Charles, is no good. He's no more good. He's just not on camera. That's the Lizard King. That's the reptile, Charles, born on my birthday. He's now King Charles of the UK. This is his brother. This is his brother. Okay.
Jeffrey Epstein. So this is one of the pictures that got leaked. It was a bedside table with a bunch of watches.
We went through this. Check this. All of this out is in part 1. Ah, here we go, sister.
The truth, he was trafficked by the Epstein elite. He was in snuff films that he survived, but he witnessed people get unalived. And what I'm telling.
So this is Sasha Riley that he's talking about. Sasha Riley blew this shit open in November.
Here's what's at the bottom of the Epstein rabbit hole.
Congratulations, you've made it to the bottom of the Epstein rabbit hole. Pay close attention. Jeffrey Epstein was on the board of directors for an organization called the Lifeboat Foundation. He was also on the board of directors for an organization called Teachers in Space. Look them both up. They actually exist. They have websites. They don't even try to hide what they're doing. The Lifeboat Foundation builds giant underground cities, okay? They openly advertise it, and for a fee and with an application letter, they might accept you to join their little society where they apparently have whole cities underground. They also advertise being able to take the clients off-world in the event of a catastrophe. And it's really interesting because Teachers in Space also talks about taking payloads off-world, which is all really weird, right? It gets even more interesting. You see, Donald Barr was the one who inducted Jeffrey Epstein with zero experience into the Dalton Institute, where he was a teacher. Donald Barr wrote a really interesting book called Relations in Space about an aristocratic elite trafficking children into space. Are you following me here? What's even weirder is the district attorney that was supposed to prosecute Jeffrey Epstein and bring him to justice was literally William Barr, Donald Barr's son. Now, the Lifeboat Foundation is really interesting because in 1996, they pioneered wireless money transfers. They're the second organization in the world to ever do this. This is a decade or two before Bitcoin even was a concept, right? So you got an organization that is doing wireless money transfers that are untraceable, large sums of money, and they're building giant underground infrastructures. It gets even weirder. I found out through looking on archive.org that Lifeboat Foundation has a homeless youth outreach program. And they used to have a whole station in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and a whole board of people. They're all out of the Rhinelander, Wisconsin area. And they had this meeting in 2017, a homelessness problem-solving meeting, right? So you have an organization that's interested in homeless youth, interested in wireless money transfers, and interested in underground infrastructure. I don't know if you guys heard about Sasha Riley, but he's telling the truth. He was trafficked by the Epstein elite. He was in snuff films that he survived, but he witnessed people get unalived. And what I'm telling you is it gets crazier. The reason why Epstein surrounded himself with the scientific elite is because he was doing human cloning and he was doing consciousness transferal and stuff like this. I swear to God, I know this gets crazy, but it's true. And what I'm telling you is he had celebrities down there. He had a cloning center down there. And I know because I was in some of these films. They're on the dark web. I'm in films on the dark web, okay? And what they're going to try to say is it's all AI.
Shit crazy. This nigga was like, I'm in the films. I am him. Right? So if you research the satanic panic, okay? Do the research on the satanic panic, right? That goes back to Charles, that goes back to Manson and all of them. Nothing has necessarily changed, right? Nothing has necessarily changed, okay? So there was a Substack article called Don't Worry, Boys Are Hard to Find. And that was from Sasha Barrows Riley, right? He's a veteran and whatnot. So he speaks about all of the situations with Boys R Us. He speaks about all of the situations that you see in the Abercrombie and Fitch CEO's RICO case, where they were flying all of these young boys and doing all kind of crazy shit to them. You dig? So let us continue. So 25 years ago, right? 25 years ago, they were talking about these snuff films, and they were finding these snuff films, and they were uncovering these underground networks and whatnot. But you don't hear this shit on the surface like that. They post it and they bury it, okay? Because this is what the elites are into, okay? This is what the elites are into. The Russian, you know? So here we have, do you remember this woman who was literally in Congress, and she was on a phone with Jeffrey Epstein? Okay, she was on a phone with Jeffrey Epstein, Stacy Plaskett, and she traveled to the island in 2014. Okay, she's the same congresswoman who exchanged text messages with Epstein during a congressional hearing, and she's still in the government right now.
We were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago. He commented that only black people could live that way. Attorney-client privilege, yes, I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record, yes or no?
Yes.
Question, you helped out the president's campaign, or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman. Even in your words today, it was your idea for the campaign dating back to 2011. Is that accurate, yes or no?
Yes.
Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot that went on.
Hey, sis. Hey, auntie. The fuck? So, this right here is from the emails. Now, let us be clear, and I have to be fair for my journalistic integrity to remain intact. An email, right? An email could be seen as way more credible piece of evidence than somebody calling the FBI to report something as a tip, unless the FBI investigates that tip and we could get a little more information on that, right? When people call up the Federal Bureau of, because the Federal Bureau, people could call the FBI and drop a tip on anybody. It's kind of considered unconfounded. But when you have emails that Jeffrey Epstein is sending back and forth, that holds more weight. I just have to separate the two. So this is the email. No, first of all, this is the Federal Bureau of Investigation, case ID 3IE, New York 3027571. Now, this is where Jay-Z's name is mentioned. Okay. Now, this is a tip that was sent to the FBI, right? Why they didn't follow up on it, I don't know. You got to ask Kash Patel and all of them. It's 7/10, July the 10th, 2019. Somebody called the FBI National Threat Operations Center to identify herself as a victim of sex abuse by Jeffrey Epstein and others. In approximately 1994, redacted, revealed herself to redacted as a past victim of sex abuse by Epstein. Redacted, described the abuse occurred during parties. Redacted, further identified as a friend of. Redacted. In approximately 1996, right? So Jay-Z pops off in 1996. This is when he really got hot with the In My Lifetime and everything. This is when Biggie gets killed. Biggie dies in 96, and he somewhat finds a way to fill the void, right? So an unknown man abducted her from home, where she later awoke in the presence of Harvey Weinstein and Sean Carter, Jay-Z, while Weinstein had inserted his fingers into her and believed she was in Epstein's mansion in Florida. This person estimated she was abducted on 7 occasions, awaking each time in an opulent indoor setting. Okay? She suffered from sex abuse on multiple of those occasions in which Epstein participated. She recalled Leon Black and William Barr, currently the United States Attorney General. So the same Pam Bondi role, Pam Bondi is the U.S. Attorney General. Well, that's William Barr all the way back then. And like we saw in a video earlier, William Barr's father put Epstein in position in New York and whatnot. He made him a teacher at the Dalton Institute, which is an Ivy League school, but Epstein wasn't even qualified. Okay, so that's that whole Lex Wexner circle right there. So he named the district attorney as being present during some of these occasions of abuse. In approximately 2006, that was the last recalled being abused. So she said that Jay-Z was on her ass in 1996, and he was hanging out with Harvey Weinstein. And we could confirm that him and Harvey Weinstein was bosom buddies. And to be honest with you, just being down with Harvey Weinstein, nigga, that's worse than being down with Epstein. You know what I'm talking about? That's almost worse than being down with Epstein. Like, Harvey Weinstein is a monster. Okay? Harvey Weinstein is a monster. So this is an email now, right? This is an interview of an Epstein victim. This is not an email. This is an interview. So this is crazy, right? This is talking about George Bush unaliving a child. We're talking about the first book, the first Bush and the second one. But the first Bush, straight demon, straight demon. You said Ghislaine owned a Kit Kat club where Jay-Z stabbed up Un. I was there that night. Crazy. Ghislaine owned that. What the fuck? Okay, yeah. Tupac passed in 96 and Biggie passed March 9th, 97. Thank you for correcting that. Okay. Thank you for correcting that. This is what the victim said that got interviewed. And I don't mean to be graphic. Once again, I'm doing the reporting to our audience, and I don't want to be graphic, but this is what they said in the report. While on a yacht, they witnessed African American men having sex with white blonde females, right? And it was uncomfortable. This person said he was a victim of a type of ritualistic sacrifice in which his feet were cut with a scimitar but left no scarring, like they cut your Achilles heel. On the yacht, he witnessed babies being dismembered, their intestines removed, and individuals eating the feces from these intestines. He was also raped by George Bush I. Now, remember during Operation Desert Storm, how many of y'all were in the army when they had that whole thing at Abu Ghraib, where they were stacking prisoners on top of each other, and they had the dogs, and they had that white woman entertainment? Remember that? Remember Abu Ghraib, where they were graping people and waterboarding them? Remember when they went into Iraq and was graping those Arabs? Remember that? Remember during George Bush's presidency when white men were showing their fangs and whatnot? Huh? Remember that? So I don't put nothing past Dick Cheney and George Bush and whatnot. But remember who was running that show. It was Condoleezza Rice, y'all, a black woman. Similar to how Nicki Minaj is behind the scenes in the Trump administration. She's about to start drilling niggas. The worst person in that entire administration who was given the battery and pushing them back to murder shit was Condoleezza Rice. Y'all don't even, she's Scorpion born on my birthday. Okay, so I know the level of pain she puts in. She was born on my birthday, and I believe she's from the Virgin Islands, if I'm correct. But Condoleezza Rice shares a birthday with me, and I already know what type. I know where her mind is at. She was the one behind a lot of that killing of civilians and all type of shit. She was helping the drill go down. Okay, keep in mind, the most dangerous person to work on that side is a black woman, not a black man. We talking about the queen on the chessboard. When they checkmate your queen, niggas, you need to be scared. Nicki Minaj has been checkmated. She is not yours. She is not yours. She's now on the other side of the chessboard working against you, similar to Candace, similar to Condoleezza, similar to anybody that they checkmate. You got to understand how this game is being played, y'all. Okay? So he was into a level of supremacy that I don't even think some of the most supremacist of our people have even knocked on that door. He was trying to create a quote-unquote super race with his DNA. Did he do it? Yeah, he probably did do it. You would never know. These are Cabbage Patch babies and whatnot. They let them loose and whatnot. These are those test tube babies. You don't know. You don't know who they gave birth to. It could be Erica Kirk and these niggas. Like, you really don't know. Because they're crazy. It's like when they showed you in Stranger Things, when the last season, the last episode of the last season, where they showed the lab where all of those women were pregnant by Vecna. They got all of those women. Henry was getting all of those women pregnant. That's literally what they were doing on this island and whatnot. As you can see in that lady's diary, she said they took her baby. They say they took her baby. What about Colin Powell? Colin Powell was Condoleezza and Colin, but Condoleezza is darker than Colin. Okay, Condoleezza was darker than Colin. Okay, war is feminine. So Jeffrey Epstein hoping to see it's the game of chess. Once your queen is checkmated and she works for the other side, that's corporate America, niggas. That's Planned Parenthood, niggas. That's Gloria Steinem flipping the black woman against the Black Power movement, my genius. Where when the black woman goes, that's where humanity goes. When she goes, the rest of humanity goes. We have to protect her. We have to correct her and protect her, cloak her, clothe her, make sure that she don't go on the other side. Okay? Make sure that she don't go on. Oh, Susan Rice. My bad. Thank you. Susan Rice. Make sure they don't go on the other side. Because when they on the other side, boy, oh boy, you niggas, we get washed. That's not a war that you want to fight. That's not a war that you want to fight. You understand? So now they got the Africans riding with them. They got the Caribbean mommies riding with them. They got Barbie Largo. Oh, wait till you see the videos coming out of Barbie Largo. It's going to turn your stomach. Okay? So Jeffrey Epstein hoped to seed human race with his DNA by impregnating women at his vast New Mexico ranch. He had a ranch called a Zorro Ranch in New Mexico. This nigga was everywhere. Over the years, he confided to scientists and others about his scheme, according to 4 people familiar with his thinking, although there's no evidence that it ever came to fruition. There's no evidence that it came to fruition. All you got to do is stick all you got to do is create a pregnant woman. I don't think that was hard for him to do. You know what I'm talking about? Butts a nut. I don't think that was too much because he had the girls. So you mean to tell me on some Scooby-Doo shit, he wasn't able to pull it off? You know? He was doing the same thing as Peter Nygaard. Facts. And I showed the Peter Nygaard video in part 1 because they were literally part of the same clan, the same group, the same tribe, moving like that. Yes, they say that Mom Donnie is his son. They say that Mom Donnie is his son. They got pictures of Epstein with his mommy holding Mom Donnie, the mayor of New York. What the fuck is going on? Oh, got my hand on Quran like Donnie, nigga. Huh? What are we talking about? So yeah, he was into transhumanism and eugenics and everything. He was using his scientific connections and his bread and whatnot.
Epstein was technically not a perv, he was a mad scientist. Epstein
to
already
Crumb.
knew that the global population is heading down and 45% of women will be single and childless by 2030. Epstein Island was a distraction from Zorro Ranch. Zorro Ranch is in New Mexico and he chose it for a reason. Zorro Ranch is a deep, underground military base. It's right down the street from Trementina Base, a bunker and vault complex owned by the Church of Spiritual Technology, an elite order within the Church of Scientology. Scientology's Secret Vault, a rare interview with a former member of the Church of Spiritual Technology. Epstein wanted to turn his New Mexico ranch into a baby-making factory. It's actually a eugenics project. Epstein reportedly hoped to develop a super race of humans with his DNA. He wanted to do this as a part of his fascination with transhumanism. He wanted to go as far as freezing his brain to spread his DNA. Epstein wasn't dealing with politicians, he was really dealing with scientists. That MIT.
He's locked in with the top scientists in the world, ladies and gentlemen. We want to put this into context. The boy is locked in with the top scientists of the world. Why are we participating in this Bro, he's locked in with MIT, Harvard scientists about creating a master race. This is nothing. This is deeper than rap. This is deeper than rap. This shit goes very far, y'all. It's not just some regular shit about flying some white girls to an island. This has tentacles.
Harvard and elsewhere face continued fallout over Epstein connections. Private jets, parties, and eugenics? Jeffrey Epstein's bizarre world of science. So what kind of research did Epstein like to fund? He told scientists before he faked his unaliving, the felon liked rebels. They keep saying celebrities, but they didn't tell you he likes to pal around with scientists. What do you think now? I'm your brother Crumb, and you're now watching Crumb TV.
This makes so much sense. They was actually cloning people on Epstein Island, and the pedophilia was a distraction.
Right, and it doesn't hurt that he looks exactly like Andrew Jackson. When you put his face next to Andrew Jackson, they are doppelgangers. Andrew Jackson was everything that Epstein was, and even worse. He's behind the Trail of Tears. He was the most wickedest cracker alive at that time from Tennessee and whatnot. They are doppelgangers. How did that happen?
Because that's what I'm saying, like, everybody been knew. I knew this since I was like 11 or 10, that they was like doing rituals with babies and child sacrifice and sex trafficking through Hollywood. So I'm like, what's the big deal? Like, why is people just now talking about it? But of course, it's another distraction. Where's the Epstein files? Where's the Epstein files? Another distraction for you goofy motherfuckers. I knew it. I knew it was a distraction. What's really going on is they clone them motherfuckers on Epstein Island. All them celebrities and shit who be going to clone them. Clone. It's a cloning fucking facility. I'm not taking away from the fact that they are raping and molesting children, but I've been told multiple times the kids they're doing that to are clone children. But that doesn't make it right, because they still have a spirit, a consciousness, not necessarily a soul. But anybody who's a clone is an abomination to the source, the oversoul, and the spirit. So all this shit, like, that's why Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling, and the truth will...
Come on.
Listen, you moving, grooving, vibing, sliding on some... human, I don't know. Then there's human.
A lot of people, past people are either right now they're evolving, right? So they don't have to reincarnate, or they're dying, being stuck in oblivion, and they're not doing any shadow work,
bro's dead. He had way more emotion like the ocean than even I imagined. Who do you know that goes to Algeria and gets a fake passport that puts their residence in Saudi Arabia? Let me just start off with the most disturbing image I've been able to find. What the fuck is that? Chicken, human, chicken. How old is this human? I don't know. Then there's this video of him chasing girls around the kitchen, which, I mean, sounds like young girls in the video, but weird, like Peter Pan-ish villainous type shit. I don't know who the fuck this is, but he doesn't look American and they look young. One of the most important things I found in the files is since the first term, it has been said by an FBI informant, Trump is compromised by Israel. Kushner is the brains behind the operation, which would make sense to why he's in a position of power now, going to meet with Putin and on the board of peace while not holding any position in Congress. Because he compromises motherfucker through Epstein and now he's fucking his daughter as well. Honestly, Kushner, you moving, grooving, vibing, sliding on some different shit, son. He was controlling more than just the U.S. He was controlling people around the fucking world. I mean, look at this specific one right here. The Indian Prime Minister Modi took my advice and danced and sang in Israel for the benefit of the U.S. president. They go, what? If the people would allow your country to recognize Israel, it could be an interesting thing to discuss. Maybe we consider $1 billion fund, and then look what he has. But make sure it's with cash, smiley face. Like Epstein had his hand in fucking everything. Who else do you know knows the founders of Bitcoin? That's literally one of the biggest mysteries in the world. And this man's like, yeah, I talked to a couple of the founders. I'm gonna go meet with them. Like, wait, who the fuck is this nigga? I'm trying to get a friend out of prison in Syria. You have any influence with Assad? Not for email. Bro, this motherfucker was an asset. The Podesta brothers going back and forth. He says he's still in the torture chamber. Last night was fun. Leads me to some of their artwork, which is very damning. Jeffrey Epstein with Woody Allen. Hey, we're going to Paris for the pedophile connection. I think pedophile is the plural. Prince Andrew in this weird fucking photo. And that's the thing. They documented a lot of weird, iniquitous shit. Another accusation of Prince Andrew torturing, sex slaving a girl, and then having her murdered. And we just saw that photo. Then talks to Peter Thiel exactly about Bitcoin. And this is early. I'm talking about 2014. Still weird that you guys are in conversation because he's a known child pedophile. Because he's trying to tweet his way through this thing that he's going to come out on the other side more powerful. It's like, no. You were begging to hang out with a pedophile. We don't care if he fucking ghosted you. There's the Jay-Z Pusha T Weinstein accusation, but it was also made through a tip line and then never followed up, which is weird. That's why I talk about the 14-year-old and not the other party, because it says that this time, at least, the research showed that it wasn't credible. But a lot of time, they weren't following up with shit, which is like, y'all heard people was raping and maybe dying, and then y'all just didn't call back. First of all, I need Bug-Eyed Bitch Patel and Cunt Bondi to go to prison immediately because they both sat up on that stand. I've seen traffic to no one. Rest need to be made, and we cannot just let this die out and move on like this is normal. No, a Mossad asset that was controlling the world through blackmail. I don't even think he fucking dead.
So 50 Cent is on his ass, right? 50 Cent said he about to do the Jay-Z documentary. So yeah, we'll see what comes out of that. But he's on his ass though. Pause. Okay. Check this
Shocking new Epstein photos released today, and yes, that is a child. Here's another child, and that grip looks very uncomfortable. This one absolutely breaks my heart. Do we know who this guy is? And that is a very, very young little girl. This is one of the worst ones in my opinion. That looks like Ghislaine, two young girls. One of them looks like she's even holding a teddy bear, and then Epstein. Here's a close-up, and honestly, this one might even be a boy. I don't know. I'm not sure. Here he is golfing. I'm not sure who it is. Let me know if you know. Another girl who looks very young, could even maybe be a boy. More young girls around Epstein. This one also looks like a child to me. It's like Epstein's getting on the Lolita Express. And I feel like there's a constant theme of not just one girl, but multiple girls around him all the time. This one is disturbing, so I warn you. The workbook for erotic slave, and then another one called Slave Craft Roadmaps for Erotic Servitude, and SM 101. And it looks like he was just mailing it to himself from New York to Florida. I'm guessing they are on the Lolita Express, and this is either his last girlfriend or another young girl. And then some more young girls, and then I don't know what this one's about. We'll be waiting for more. There's a ton of redacted photos. Lots of heartbreaking photos in today's release, but when are we going to see his financials?
Where my UK niggas? All your heroes is in the Epstein file. In it. Not a day, bruv. Not a day. Rich Paul, run! Bend them like Beckham. Rolling Stone, no, that was a Steven! God damn it. Steven! What you doing? Not Richard. Not Dick Homie. Hey, sir. Be the homie. The Piers on his deathbed right now. I see Piers fucked up. Piers on his deathbed. Naomi! He didn't like niggas. What is he doing with you, Naomi? No, not you, sir.
It's a conspiracy theory that R. Kelly video Fiesta remix with Jay-Z was shot on Epstein Island, and according to R. Kelly, you know, I guess I'm supposed to keep that a secret, but that was actually confirmed. And you know, people like Epstein, it's people like real creeps, worse creeps than R. Kelly, who actually pay people to bring underage girls to them. And they seen R. Kelly influence. You know, whether people want to admit it or not, especially in this culture, every female wanted R. Kelly about 20 years ago, you know, or even 30 years ago in the 90s when he had all these hits. You know, the Pied Piper. Yeah, they all wanted a piece of R. Kelly, and so creeps like Epstein, seeing that, wanted to use people like R. Kelly to draw in these young females and bring them to islands and stuff like that. And R. Kelly, despite what people think about him, he didn't want to be a part of that agenda. And that's the main reason why they targeted him.
It was not the end of his influence.
What the hell?
Which was supposed
and locked up with R. Kelly. And locked up with R. Kelly, you would think he would be well taken care of in there, but he wasn't.
Oh, that's so sad. What else? So look at this dude. He's a billionaire. Reid Hoffman offered Epstein a gift for the girls. Oh yeah, he looks like he gets a lot of play. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, ice cream. If you have any interest, you should try. Else for the girls, something that may strike your funny bone for the island. Hope you're having fun as usual. Seeing Bill again. 110 with Satya. Yeah. Yeah. Some of these people need to get the shit beat out of them. So Epstein asks, should he try to do the woman or just torture her? Right? He said, do you want me to try to do her or just torture her? Do you want me to try to do her or just torture her? Okay. That's the emails that he was sending.
What are you, class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
What's tier 1's the highest and worst?
No, I'm
the lowest.
I'm the lowest. Your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question. I'm sorry. Do you think you're the devil?
So this is from a documentary to Steve Bannon, right? Steve Bannon from the Trump administration did an interview, a 2-hour interview with this devil right here, where he was basically trying to fix his image for him. This was after he got out of jail. And Steve Bannon, who does documentaries, he's known for his documentaries. He's a documentary person, you know what I mean? And Steve Bannon interviewed him. This is a lot of people are talking about this interview. He goes deep on DNA, consciousness, all type of shit. The nigga wasn't dumb. Quantum physics, quantum entanglement. He was not dumb. to no degree. Like he's dropping shit on some real like this nigga YouTube University type shit, but it's fucking Jeffrey though. Isn't that Peter Pan evil talking about? Remember, 3 million files. 3 million files were dropped, and there's 3 million more. They did not release 3. They only released half of it. 3 million files. And they're releasing and 3 million more. They were like, you know what? Those other 3 million, they're not anything. We're not going to release that. 3 million files got released. And then it was like, you know what? The other 3 million, yeah, those are just it's just meaningless. We're going to get rid of those. Foreplay. It's like foreplay. I'm playing a game of catch and go. Yeah, this nigga Twitter fingers. He was crazy. Like your man was Twitter fingers for real. God damn, I never seen a nigga tweet that much, send that many emails. You know what I'm talking about? So all the parents that got daughters that want to get sugar daddies, and all of the parents that got daughters that's watching that bad girl shit, following motherfucking Sukiyana, Sexy Red. For all of the parents that got daughters that want to stick they fucking make that duck lip shit when they take pictures with that stupid ass look on their face and whatnot. Yeah. That part. The fuck? Yeah, this is what it's looking like. Go find you a rich man. I need a high-quality man. I need a man making 8 figures. This is the world right here. You're gonna get pooped on. You're gonna get passed around. This is it right here. It starts at the bottom. Shit is Diddy. The bottom shit is the Diddy shit, right? You know what I mean? You get the Diddy treatment at the bottom, and then as you climb that ladder and whatnot, as you get invited to Dubai, you get upgraded to the Michael Rubin White Party. You know what I'm saying? This is just the levels of that shit that's going on in this world where everybody has the opportunity to be a part of it. If you sell your soul out. So where do we go from here? We go from here to whereas if you participate in this shit, you're done. You've been warned. We will excommunicate you and wash our hands. You've been warned. There's nothing else to say. You know what it is now. So if you willingly get a part, if you want to go and get signed to be a model, if you want to be an actor, if you want to be a rapper, if you want to be a part of this shit, this is what it is. You've seen it. So if you start asking, yo, can we get some help over here? Clean up on aisle number 6. We don't even know you. We don't got nothing to do with you. If you choose that side, you stay there. That's what this is. That's how we deal with it. If you choose that motherfucking side, well, that's the bed you lay in. That's the only thing that we could get out of this. That they showed you their fangs, and they're even going to ramp it up more. They're so cocky that they're like, you know what? We're going to change the contract. If you try to get down with us now, we're going to even ramp it up a bit more. Prior to us being exposed, you have to sign your life away. You might get a train ran on you, a few other things. Now that you've been exposed to what we do, oh no, you really going to pay the price. So if there's anybody out there walking blindly into this motherfucking world, my nigga, goodbye. It's been laid out. So there's no mystery anymore. It's all out in the open. It was all out in the open before, but it's all out in the open now. So if this is what you want, if this is how you want to do it, then hey, you already saw what it is. There's nothing more to be said. because life is about decisions and choices and whatnot. And people are enticed by that Jezebel spirit, men and women. They are enticed by trying to get put on and whatnot and rescued by a motherfucking sugar daddy. Well, you know, they say sugar and crack is like 2 molecules away from each other. That ain't the way. That is not the way. And we should banish everybody from our community, round them up, call them out, and start identifying the people that are pushing this type of motherfucking mind state on these babies. These are melanated Giselle Maxwells. Because Natalie Nunn and motherfucking that girl from Love and Hip Hop, those are melanated Maxwells right now. Those are pimps. Them girls on the Zeus Network, those are pimps. Okay? Let's be clear as to what we're seeing. A bunch of emails about pizza. You know, they're going pizza crazy. They're going pizza crazy.
JonBenet Ramsey's grandfather may have had connections to North Fox Island, a private island that later became the subject of a conspiracy theory rumored to be linked to a child trafficking ring. Except it wasn't just a rumor. The horrors people spoke of happening on this desolate island, which was supposed to be a nature camp for young boys, turned out to be completely true. I covered the story behind the island in part 1, so if you haven't seen that yet, be sure to go watch it because it's absolutely crazy and you will otherwise be completely lost. But this is the part 2 video, and if you enjoy content like this, make sure to follow. While the conspiracy surrounding North Fox Island turned out to be true, one rumor that can't be confirmed is whether or not JonBenet Ramsey's family had any involvement in the island's operations. Even though we can't confirm it, I'm gonna tell you what we do know for a fact, and you can decide how the pieces fit together for yourself. The Ramsey family was known to have a vacation home in Charlevoix, Michigan, which is just a stone's throw away from North Fox Island. JonBenet's paternal grandfather, Jay Ramsey, was also involved in aviation, specifically with the Michigan Aeronautics Commission during the 1970s. That's the same decade when North Fox Island was being used as a front for a child trafficking ring operating under the guise of a non-profit organization. If you don't remember or haven't watched part 1, the very first thing Frank Sheldon did after purchasing the island was built an airstrip so small planes could land and shuttle boys in and out. So it was during the same period of time that Jay Ramsey served as the director of the Michigan Aeronautics Commission, meaning that he was responsible for licensing and overseeing airstrips built throughout the state. He held that position for 22 years, and during that time, the number of licensed airports in Michigan grew from 130 to 322. Now, this doesn't prove any connection between him and North Fox Island, but it does suggest that the project most likely would have crossed his desk, and that he was most likely the one that had to have approved Sheldon's airstrip on the island. We also know that Sheldon was a well-known figure in Charlevoix, the same area where the Ramsey family owned property. The story of North Fox Island broke in 1977, and Jay Ramsey retired just 2 years later in 1979. Those are the facts. Whether or not they point to JonBenet's family being involved with North Fox Island is purely speculative, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comments, but what we do have more evidence for is that the island's operations have been linked to the Oakland County child killer, an unidentified serial killer who targeted children in the suburban areas just north of Detroit. I can dive deeper into that connection in part 3, or you can go check out my 2-part podcast episode on this topic by searching Oddities on Elm Street wherever you get your podcasts.
While everybody's talking about the Epstein files drop, I saw this and it's sickening and infuriating.
This one's in Thailand. Beautiful. 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 What comes with the island? There's a small villa here. You could practically build this. They're building things. Yeah, there's do the islands come with the children or the children? This island does have a small school. There are children. Okay, so I don't know if that was. Yeah. What countries are near to abduct them from? Cambodia, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Philippines. The Philippines. Of course. The Filipinos, if they're not being a nurse, they're being your...
So while everybody's caught up on the Bill Clinton thing, it's Bill Clinton, but it's far worse. And if we wonder why it took so long for so many people to want this to come out, I think we have an answer right here. I can't even imagine how many sickos there really are.
I think some of the documents are fake. Like, they were written by AI, but I think also a lot of them are real. And it's pretty bad. Hey, Jeff.
The mayonnaise meltdown. The mayonnaise fucking meltdown. They knew. They knew. I'm not convinced. They knew.
It's me, Elon. I really wanted to talk to you about your Little St. James operation. Shucks, Elon. It's me, Jeff. We're not really doing that anymore. Hello, American public. It is me, FBI agent and confidential informant. Donald Trump has been compromised by Israel and Jared Kushner runs his administration. Hello, Ehud Barak. It is me, Jeff Epstein. Tell everybody that I am not working for Mossad. Some of the shit is real, though. This dude's talking about, I'm going to Paris to meet with Woody Allen to go to a pedo convention. Talking about Julian Assange and Hillary Clinton and the Podesta emails. Talking about meeting with Prince Andrew, and Prince Andrew tortured somebody to death. Former President Bush tortured and ritually dismembered a child. Major figures in the music industry have...
Now, like I said earlier, these are emails. These are not FBI call. These are not like tips and everything. This is Epstein sending out emails. So we have to be able to separate the tips from the emails. So he's sending out emails saying, yeah, man, this nigga's or Andrew crazy. He done body something in front of me type shit. Huh?
Handlers. The music industry helps to recruit girls that they can traffic. Jeffrey Epstein talking to Noam Chomsky about the right stuff in Mike Enoch and talking about James Watson and race and IQ. No, I'm not joking. Another thing about how they could arrest Hillary Clinton because of what she did. The FBI knew about him and Ghislaine back in 2000. The FBI naming him and Ghislaine again in 2000. Jeff traveled to Venezuela and met with all of the key officials leading Venezuela. Jeff was banned from Xbox, I guess. I don't know. I'm astonished that the government would show you all of this, especially the President Bush and Hillary Clinton shit. This seems a little fishy because of the timing and because of how some of these things read. But if it's all real, it's pretty bad.
Fuck you mean if it's all real? Here's a bunch of pizza party shit. There's pizza party mentions hundreds and hundreds of times in these files. Here's the Trump shit that the DOJ removed. They deleted it. It was a post and delete. And he's basically calling out Donald Trump, right? On some heinous shit. The same Donald Trump that some of the people that you know follow. Okay. Obama is, I think they said Obama, hey. So, you know, Nicki Minaj, she popped out and she got some words to say to Jay-Z. You know, she's not going to waste no time, but she definitely popped out and she on that boy neck, pause. You know what I'm talking about? She is on Jay-Z's neck. As I knew she would. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? We are going to go to our announcements real quick. I have to make an announcement, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed the information that you got tonight, you are going to be blown away when me and Blue Pill present in 2 weeks on Sunday, the day before President's Day. When in Rome, the fire horse at the edge of the apocalypse. We are going to be returning, as you know. It's going to take some time to unpack some shit that's going on. But if you think that this shit right here is so much other things that we are going to be able to connect. This is literally scratching the surface. And we put in about 6 hours in the past 2 days just revealing all of the rabbit holes. But when in Rome, we are going to have to truly and thoroughly unpack what the fuck is going on in this fire horse year and what the edge of the apocalypse even means. The apocalypse literally means a mass awakening. The apocalypse literally means people waking up, the mass awakening. We are on the edge of apocalypse. Fire horse, when in Rome, Twin Pillars, Sunday, February the 15th, 8 p.m. Scan that QR code right there above the live button. We have early bird tickets, so you could get your early bird tickets. but I need y'all in the building. Red and blue forming the Wonder Twins. We are going to form Voltron, and we're going to kick these motherfuckers' backs in. If you know what we do, we are going to cook. We are going to cook with a vengeance. Minister Marlin and the motherfucking Schoolie Red, we dog walking these niggas. I promise you. And you know, so much will be happening leading up to the 15th. We might get an assassination or two. So yeah, pull up and we'll see you in the building. Okay? We'll see you in the building. When in Rome. Let's go to a word from our sponsors and we'll be right back. This ain't a game.
VCL in my cup, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Flow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. VCL in my cup, I'm feeling right. Sip to the sunrise, dance to the night. From the ocean's kiss to your city lights. 21 flavors, pure health in every bite. Drip so clean, we're custom made. From reef to street, we elevate. Gold green gel, set the record straight. Nature in a bottle, that's a better way. Charge me up, no caffeine crash. Clean energy, steady splash. From skin to gut, yeah, we live from within. Wellness on 10, let the rhythm begin. Pour it up, pour it up. Feel the wave, body thanking me. Every save, ocean wisdom in this glass. We sell magic, CMOS. VCL in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Flow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. Island breeze in the city maze. We're mineral rich in 1,000 ways. Immunity high like the summer rays. Hydrate the hustle, fuel your days. Berry, mango, ginger, lime. Pick your flow, your flavor, your time. Beauty and balance we redefine. Every little sip, align your shine. Wear it up, feel the way. Body thanking me for every sip. Ocean wisdom in this glass. We sell magic, CMOS. VCL in my car, I'm feeling boss. 21 flavors powered by CMOS. Glow from within, yeah, we never fall off. Count it up, 99 minerals, flaws. From the coral choir to the heartbeat drum. Roots run deep where the wild tide hum. Real ones know where the glow comes from. VCL in the mix now, watch us.
We go. Should name that shit Valentine's Day Massacre, right? We should name it Valentine's Day Massacre, but not bad. Y'all make sure y'all tap in for When in Rome. Me and Blue is going crazy. I'm gonna be in the lab doing my research. This shit right here is going to be a fucking classic. I'm diving in. I'm cracking codes. I'm solving some shit. You know what I mean? So I'll see y'all in the building for that. Thank you, everybody, for pulling up tonight and whatnot. Thank you, everybody, for pulling. Thank you to Shakur Stevenson for knocking that boy out, beating the brakes off of him yesterday. You know what I'm saying? The black man for the win. The Moors for the win. You know what I'm talking about? The Moors for the win. You know what I mean? That part. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Melanin Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Melanin Monday in the building. All right. And yeah, that part. All right. Oh, before we go, we got to let you know that we also have the Imaginarium on the way. Look out for the Imaginarium. That's for all of my creatives and whatnot. Black Future Month. Black Future Month. Afro Futurism Month starts right now. So we are going to be delivering the Imaginarium. All right. Look out for that special show when we launch that.
In Brooklyn shadow, dreams come alive. At dawn's new light, let your spirit thrive. Breathe in courage, let your strength ascend. Dark fire rise and let the power blend. Your aura's a beacon, luck finds its way. With bold steps forward, seize a new day. Shout it proud, success is my own fate. I'm glimmering now, it's time to elevate. I'm a magnet for dreams, success my claim. In sync with fortune, dancing in the game. Wealth cascades freely, triumph ignites, my heart's ready, soaring to new heights. Chant till it's a rhythm in your soul's beat, fueling your drive, making goals complete. Your aura's a magnet, attracting sway. Dance with prosperity night into day. Riches may flow, but spirit stands tall. Growth the reward, answering the call. Money's a vessel, clarity's the map. No rush needed, wealth's in your grasp. No need to scheme, to hustle or to plead. Just rise up strong, live in your creed. Don't chase, simply receive what's conceived. Feel the rhythm of wealth you're meant to achieve.
All right, we got it going on. Cambada, Red Pillar, you dig? We'll see you tomorrow. Okay? We'll see you mañana. Y'all stay safe.
Hey, yo, we got it going on. I'm here to right all my wrong. Yo, we got it going on. Yeah. Hey, yo, we got it going on. I bring my niggas together, we transform and become the Voltron. Yeah. We here to right all our wrong. Hey, yo, we got it going on. Yeah. Went through the fire, but it lit up my fuse. I'm blowing up like a bomb. Introduce you to God. I'm teaching essentials, I'm operating at my peakest potential. Elijah, he told me to keep it on simple. Through these instrumentals, I speak to your mental. Red, back in the booth, rap to the youth, they was lacking the truth. Back to the seas, they was lacking the roots. Smoke through the trees and they snacking on fruits. Bed, attached to my roof, detached to the roof on the back of the coupe. Back from the future, I'm back in the loop. Red in the blue, yeah, I'm back on my snoop. Niggas be biting, they cracking, they tooth. Niggas be capping, they lacking it truth. Put a toe tap in the back of they boot. Battle with nukes, I'm attacking they troops. I wrote these bars in Sumerian text. The legends of Mu on Lemurian sets. It was written in Targaryen text. Came to conquer on my very. Yeah, we got it going on. I bring my niggas together, we transform and become the Voltron. Yeah, we here to right all our wrong. Hey, yo, we got it going on. Yeah, went through the fire, but it lit up my fuse. I'm blowing up like a bomb. Introduce you to God. Back on the mic, was dead on my back, now I'm back on my life. Came back from the future, went back to it twice. When I rose out the grave, they said that dude is Christ. I'ma shine like a star, I'ma twinkle, twinkle as I light up the sky. The whole world was watching on the night I arrived. The Messiah's here, I guess it's finally time. I swear that I hear every prayer that you say. I was there every day. You was scared, letting fear in your way. And them demons hungry, it's a spirit, but I'm the one that's on the lightest from. I began before your time begun. In the face of death, you either fight or run. Life a game, I feel like I won. Hey, yo, we got it going on. I bring my niggas together, we transform and become the Voltron. Yeah, we here to right all our wrong. Hey, yo, we got it going on. Yeah, went through the fire, but it lit up my fuse. I'm blowing up like a bomb. Introduce you to God.
You got a budget. You better fucking be great. There's no excuses anymore.